Chapter 214. Yihao was secretly glad that he came out. Otherwise, staying in the Fire Dragon Empire would undoubtedly limit his development. Now, as long as he completed a mission, he would be able to obtain 10 million experience points and 3 million soul points. But Yihao also knew that since the system could give out so many rewards, the Thousand Beast sect was undoubtedly a tiger's den. What's wrong, Master? Are you not satisfied with this little elephant's cultivation? The artifact spirit had appeared beside Yihao at an unknown time and suddenly asked, "Little ball, can you not be so surprised? Do you have a way?" Yihao's eyes shone. Could it be that this old thing was still hiding some treasure? The weapon spirit of the Dragon Prison Lake was scared by Yihao's stare. "Don't look at me. I have given you everything I have. However, there is a trace of dragon blood in this little elephant's body. You have to make that big bug bleed a bit." The giant dragon was in a deep sleep. Suddenly, it shuddered and stood up. Its huge dragon eyes stared at the weapon spirit. "You old thing, did you say bad things about me to Master?" "I didn't. Master wants to borrow something from you." The weapon spirit hurriedly waved his hand and denied. He looked like he would never admit it. "I was wondering what it was. Master wants to borrow something from me. I'll just give it to him directly. But I don't have anything." The giant dragon was very generous at the beginning, but when he saw the weapon spirit's treacherous smile, he knew that it was not a good thing. "Nothing much. Master wants to borrow some blood from you to feed this little elephant." The weapon spirit felt that the giant dragon wanted to escape and immediately locked down the space. Yihao gave him a look of approval. "No way. I just recovered from my injuries. Master, you can't do this to me." When the giant dragon heard that Yihao wanted his blood, his expression immediately drooped. At the same time, he glanced at the white dragon elephant. The white dragon elephant felt the dragon's aura and was instantly suppressed to the ground. Strange. Why does this little elephant have dragon blood? The giant dragon suddenly carefully observed the aura of the white dragon giant elephant and muttered in confusion. Could it be another perverted dragon? Why would it be such a lowly species? Although dragons were very lustful, they also had the pride of the dragon race. If they wanted to mate with a high-level magic beast, they would only be able to mate with a low-level magic beast. If White Elephant did not have a fortuitous encounter, he would only be a low-level magic beast for the rest of his life. Therefore, it was also very curious about the white dragon elephant's dragon blood. "No matter what, you're still my master's subordinate. I'll help you this once." After the dragon finished speaking, it spat out a drop of golden blood. "I say, little dragon, aren't you being too stingy? Why did you only give us 1 drop of blood? You have such a big body. Can't you contribute a little more?" Yihao said unhappily as he reached out to take the dragon blood. "Master, even if I wanted to give it to him, that little elephant would have to be able to take it first. You must know that this is the essence blood of this old dragon. If it were outside, it would be enough to make many powerful beings go crazy." The colossal dragon said with a long face. "Foodie, here you go." Yihao handed the essence blood to the white dragon giant elephant. The white dragon giant elephant was envious, but its eyes revealed fear. At the same time, it kept looking at the giant dragon. What a good-for-nothing. Yihao slapped the white dragon giant elephant's head and stuffed the essence blood into the white dragon giant elephant's mouth at the same time. "Master," just as the weapon spirit was about to speak, Yihao had already made the white dragon giant elephant swallow the essence blood. The weapon spirit swallowed the words that were about to come out of its mouth. What's the matter?" Yihao looked at the weapon spirit in confusion. The weapon spirit shook its head. The essence blood had just entered the white dragon giant elephant's mouth. Before it had time to be excited, there was a loud bang. The white dragon giant elephant fell to the ground, its body covered in a golden light. I still overestimated this little elephant. Fortunately, I sealed most of the power in that drop of essence blood. Otherwise, this little elephant would definitely explode and die. The colossal dragon said disdainfully, but had been paying attention to the changes in the white dragon giant elephant's body. "Little dragon, will Little White wake up tomorrow? I still have a competition tomorrow." Hearing the colossal dragon's muttering, Yi Hao knew that the white dragon giant elephant's life was not in danger. He began to worry about tomorrow's competition. Master, I lost too much blood. I'm a little dizzy. Io, why am I so dizzy? The colossal dragon was sweating profusely when it heard Yi Hao's words. It did not know that the giant elephant had a competition tomorrow. Under normal circumstances, when this giant elephant would wake up, completely depended on the giant elephant. It might fall into a deep sleep for 10 days to half a month, or it might wake up in 2 hours. This was not something it could decide. As the colossal dragon spoke, it pretended to faint. At the same time, it narrowed one of its eyes and secretly looked at Yi Hao. Yi Hao was completely stunned. He turned around and looked at the weapon spirit. Little ball, this was your idea. Master, I didn't expect the big bug to be so generous. I thought it would only give a drop of ordinary dragon blood. That would be good enough. I just realized it and wanted to persuade you, but you had already given the essence blood to that little elephant. The weapon spirit wiped the cold sweat on its head and said innocently. Yi Hao recalled that the weapon spirit did call him. However, the colossal dragon and the weapon spirit's meaning was self-evident. They did not know when the white dragon giant elephant would wake up. My 500,000. Yi Hao shouted into the sky. He wanted to cry, but had no tears. If the white dragon giant elephant did not wake up tomorrow, not only would he lose his 500,000 experience, but he would also participate in the competition. There was no way for him to participate in tomorrow's competition. If even the demonic beast did not come out, what was the point of participating in the competition? Not being able to participate in the competition was secondary. He would only lose 500,000 experience. However, if the Thousand Beasts sect was defeated, he would lose even more. Yi Hao looked at the white dragon giant elephant. Its body was still covered in a golden light. He said helplessly, forget it. Let's hope Little White can wake up tomorrow. Wu Song, Li Kuei, how are the two of you doing here? Yi Hao's 2 trump cards were characters from the water margin. One was the black whirlwind Li Kuei, and the other was the tiger-slaying hero Wu Song, whom he had liked since he was young. Li Kuei was a middle-grade martial general. His strength was at the peak of the martial spirit realm. Wu Song was a high-grade martial general. His strength was the same as Guan Yu's. They were both at the peak of the martial venerable realm. These two people were undoubtedly his biggest trump cards. Unless it was absolutely necessary, Yi Hao would not easily show them to others. This was also why Yi Hao was not afraid of the elders of the Thousand Beasts sect. If they really angered Yi Hao, he only needed to summon Wu Song and they would be killed in an instant. However, in order to successfully enter the Thousand Beasts sect, Yi Hao could not reveal his trump cards. After all, he still did not know the situation of the Thousand Beasts sect. However, Yi Hao estimated that the experts of the Thousand Beasts sect should at most be at the level of a martial honorable. However, whether there was an Emperor Wu or not, he still had to investigate carefully. If there really was an honorable, then he would have to be careful. Chapter 215. Li Kuei, your cultivation? Without waiting for the two to speak, Yi Hao felt that there was something wrong with Li Kuei's aura. Li Kuei chuckled and scratched his head embarrassedly. Reporting to Lord, I have broken through to First Order Martial Honorable under Big Brother Wu's guidance. Haha, that's great. Yi Hao didn't expect there to be such a pleasant surprise. Although there was only a small difference between a peak martial spirit and a First Order Martial Honorable, the difference in combat strength was huge. All right, continue with your cultivation. Yi Hao gave the two of them a few more words of encouragement before teleporting out of Dragon Prison Lake. Yi Hao saw that the sky outside was already bright. Yi Hao pushed open the door to the alchemy room and found that there were still people buying pills and all the alchemists were still busy. Xiao Hao, you're out. Why didn't you go and raise your demonic beast level? The competition is about to start. Miaolian dragged her tired feet and walked to Yi Hao's side. She had a happy smile on her face and asked with concern, because she didn't know that Yi Hao had the Dragon Prison Lake, and Yi Hao's demonic beast was so huge that the small alchemy room couldn't fit it. So she thought that Yi Hao had been refining pills all this time. Until now, he hadn't let his demonic beast take any pills. If he still didn't take any pills, it would be too late when the competition started. Don't worry, I have my own arrangements. He didn't want to expose the existence of the Dragon Prison Lake. Oh right, how's business today? We've been busy since yesterday, and no one has rested. These people have gone crazy in order to participate in the competition, Emelian said as her shoulders drooped. Then why are you so happy? Yihao smiled and pulled Emelian into his embrace, smelling the fragrance of Emelian's hair. I never thought that the Beast King Pavilion's business would be so good. How can I not be happy? I still feel like I'm dreaming. Emelian lay in Yihao's embrace and closed her eyes with a happy smile on her face. Don't worry, you'll be busy in the future. This is only the beginning. When the time comes, don't complain that you're tired. Yihao's target was definitely not this small Beast King city. As long as the Beast King Pavilion is strong, I'm willing to die of exhaustion. Emelian pouted, unconvinced. I'm a little tired. I'm going to sleep for a while. Do you want to come with me? Yihao yawned and said with a smirk. That won't do. There's so many things going on in the Beast King Pavilion right now. I'm worried. Go to sleep first. I'll wake you up when the game is about to start. Emelian said gently. All right then. Yihao felt a bit good as he kissed Emelian's forehead. Emelian instantly revealed a sweet smile. You really don't care about your magical beast? Seeing Yihao walking towards the pill concoction room, Emelian still asked worriedly. Let's talk about it when the competition starts. There's no rush. Yihao couldn't tell Emelian that his elephant was now in a deep sleep. Therefore, he could only give her a perfunctory answer. Right, go upstairs and study. Is there a bed in the pill concoction room? How am I supposed to sleep? Emelian said shyly. After all, no outsider had ever entered her room. That's my good beloved concubine. Yihao giggled as he walked upstairs. Beloved concubine? Could he be the emperor? Hearing Yihao's words, Emelian stared at Yihao's back as she mumbled in confusion. When the sun rose in the morning, the beast appraisal competition began once again. The crowd was still packed with people. Moreover, there were more than 3,000 people who had successfully advanced. More than 3,000 contestants were gathered in the arena. That damned little white... Why isn't it awake yet? Yihao hurried to the arena. The white dragon elephant's body had already returned to its normal size. The golden light on its body had also disappeared, but it still hadn't woken up. All contestants, please release your magical beasts. At the same time, take out your jade tokens. Let our people check your magical beasts to see if they're the real ones. The people from the Thousand Beast sect had already expected some people to fake their beasts, so before the competition began, they had already prepared people to check them one by one. Hearing the host's words, all the contestants quickly released their magical beasts. However, most of them had their magical beasts hide their auras, preparing to catch their opponents off guard. Xueji released his two magical beasts proudly. One was a giant white python, while the other was a colorful leopard. Both magical beasts' auras had reached rank 5, rank 1. In order to wash away the humiliation he suffered yesterday, Xueji had his magical beasts reveal their auras without restraint. The two magical beasts' powerful auras instantly caused many magical beasts in the arena to become restless. Some growled softly while others prostrated themselves on the ground, causing their owners' expressions to darken. Sir, I forfeit. Sir, I forfeit too. Some of them wanted to rely on their luck, but their magical beast levels were too low and they didn't have the money to buy pills. Now, their magical beasts were almost scared to death by Xueji's magical beasts. Even if they participated in the competition, they would only be sending their magical beasts to their deaths. Although they were complaining about Xueji, they could only reluctantly agree. On the contrary, Xueji was even more proud. He already felt that he had become the focus of the audience. After being intimidated by Xueji's magical beasts, hundreds of people immediately forfeited. However, there were still more than 2,000 contestants left. That contestant, please release your magical beast. Elder Wan felt that he had lost face that day, so when he saw the contestants appear, he paid special attention to Yihao. Seeing that Yihao didn't release his magical beast, he immediately ordered someone to shout. Yi Hao rubbed his nose and had no choice but to release the giant elephant. The giant elephant should have reached the final stage of awakening, but it was still in a deep sleep. Ha ha ha, what did I see? That white elephant is actually sleeping. Shueji saw that Yi Hao's white elephant was in a deep sleep and couldn't help but laugh arrogantly. No way. What kind of white elephant is this? Other people's magical beasts. Which one of them isn't full of energy? This white elephant is actually sleeping. Xia Hao, your mutated magical beast is really too strong. When Elder One saw this scene, he couldn't help but take the lead and laugh. Elder Li, who was beside him, also had a disdainful sneer on his face. Xia Hao, what's going on? City Lord Song couldn't help but walk to Yi Hao's side and ask anxiously. It's in the midst of a breakthrough and hasn't awakened yet. Yi Hao answered truthfully. Ha ha, I'm dying of laughter. If it's sleeping, then it's sleeping. You actually said that it's in the midst of a breakthrough. Do you think we're fools? Shueji laughed wantonly. After all, other people's magical beasts would immediately break through after eating the pills, who would fall into a deep sleep. Chapter 216. Shut your mouth. City Lord Song snorted and looked at Shueji with dissatisfaction. Shueji was still fearful of City Lord Song. He pursed his lips and sneered at the side. City Lord Song pulled Yi Hao to an empty corner and asked anxiously, "Is there something wrong with your beast?" Obviously, City Lord Song didn't believe Yi Hao's words. He thought that Yi Hao said that the beast was in a deep sleep to save face. It's really not. Seeing the disbelief on City Lord Song's face, Yi Hao said helplessly, "Even if it is breaking through, the competition is about to start. What do you want to do?" City Lord Song continued to ask. "At most, I won't participate." Yi Hao was annoyed by the questions and said nonchalantly. City Lord Song wanted to say something, but when he saw the light in Yi Hao's eyes, he swallowed his words. "Okay, the competition starts. All contestants, please leave your beast behind and leave immediately. The competition starts now. The life and death of your beast are not lost. If you regret it now, you can withdraw." The host said, "What? You want the beasts to fight?" As soon as the host finished speaking, someone asked immediately, "This contestant is right. The beasts of the remaining 10 contestants will be able to successfully advance to the next round." The host replied with a smile. "Okay, all contestants, please leave the venue quickly. If you leave with your beast now, it will be urgent." The host continued to urge. Many people who were hesitating immediately kept their beasts and left the venue. Even more people were communicating with their beasts through the purple-red jade token and comforting them. "Are you sure Little White is fine?" Yi Hao communicated with the weapon spirit. "Don't worry, Lord. Little Elephant's defense has already reached the middle of the 5th rank. These little fellows won't be able to hurt it. Moreover, Little Elephant has the aura of a big bug. Those little fellows won't dare to go near it." The weapon spirit's voice sounded in Yi Hao's mind. "I'll believe you this time." Yi Hao could only listen to the artifact spirit. Yi Hao really couldn't bear to part with the 500,000 EXP. That was enough for him to level up twice. As for the white dragon elephant's life, that would depend on its own luck. Yi Hao left the white dragon elephant where it was and turned to leave. "Idiot." Shueji looked at Yi Hao's back, then looked at the white dragon elephant that was still sleeping and scolded him contemptuously. What is Xia Hao trying to do? If he leaves the demonic beast where it is, it will be torn apart alive. Is there something wrong with his brain? Why isn't he giving up? Many people gave Yi Hao a puzzled look and even more mocked him. "All right, let the competition begin." Seeing that there was no one left in the arena, the host announced loudly, "Wait a minute." Bai Qingshang's eyes never left the white dragon elephant. Seeing that the white dragon elephant had fallen into a deep sleep, Bai Qingshang suddenly stood up and interrupted. "Elder Bai, what can I do for you?" The host respectfully asked Bai Qingshang. Bai Qingshang ignored the host and flew to Yi Hao's side. "Xia Hao, I know that you want to enter the Thousand Beast sect, but your demonic beast has fallen into a deep sleep for some unknown reason. If you leave it where it is, it will definitely be a disaster. How about this? Bring your demonic beast out. and I will still guarantee your entry into the Thousand Beast sect. Moreover, I will give you 2 rank 5 demonic beasts. Yi Hao naturally didn't want to hide the fact that he had opened the Beast King Pavilion. Whether it was for the white dragon elephant or for Yi Hao himself, he wanted to help Yi Hao. Thank you, Elder Bai, but there is really no need. Yi Hao tactfully refused. All right then, good luck. Seeing that Yi Hao refused, Bai Qingshang wasn't angry and flew back to the arena with a smile. Yi Hao looked at Bai Qingshang enviously. Only after reaching the martial spirit realm could one begin to fly. This aroused Yi Hao's desire to level up. Let's begin, Bai Qingshang softly said to the host. The host quickly bowed in agreement and ordered his men to close the arena to prevent any demonic beasts from escaping. Roar! Roar! Not knowing what the guards had thrown into the arena, the demonic beasts were all agitated and their eyes began to turn red. In an instant, all the demonic beasts seemed to have heard the order and began to fight. The roars of the demonic beasts could be heard everywhere. It was as if the demonic beasts had lost their consciousness. There was only killing in their eyes. Any demonic beast that was injured and fell to the ground would be instantly dismembered by a group of demonic beasts and become food for the other demonic beasts. Great, this is too exciting. Bite it to death. Hurry up. The excitement in the hearts of the onlookers was also aroused by the fight between the demonic beasts. All of them were shouting excitedly. In the arena, Xueji's demonic beasts were the most popular. There was almost no one who could stand up to them. As long as the demonic beasts fell into their hands, they would be torn apart in an instant. Although many of the demonic beasts had lost their minds, they could still rely on their instincts to avoid danger. All of them stayed far away from Xueji's demonic beasts. For a moment, Xueji's demonic beasts were like the gods of war. What's going on? Suddenly, someone let out a surprised voice. Everyone followed his gaze and saw that Yi Hao's white dragon elephant was still sleeping peacefully on the ground. No demonic beast dared to come close within 3 meters of it. That white elephant can't be dead, right? Someone guessed. Everyone looked at him as if he was an idiot. If the white elephant was dead, it would have been torn apart. Can't you see that all the demonic beasts are staying far away from the white elephant? Damn you 2 idiots. Tear that white elephant apart for me. Seeing Yi Hao's white elephant sleeping peacefully, Xueji was very unhappy. He loudly ordered the 2 demonic beasts. However, there's a special fragrance in the arena that made all the demonic beasts lose their minds. Xueji's demonic beasts were of a higher level, so they still had a trace of consciousness. When the 2 demonic beasts heard Xueji's voice, the red light in their eyes dimmed. Their bodies paused for a moment, but the special fragrance quickly rushed into their noses. Then, their eyes were covered by the red light again, and they went to kill other demonic beasts. Consider yourself lucky. I'll let your white elephant live a little longer. Xueji glanced at Yi Hao and found that Yi Hao was dozing off. He couldn't help but angrily slap his chair. The battle between the demonic beasts was unusually fierce. Whoever fell off the peak would be torn apart in an instant. After a full hour, the arena had become a river of blood. There were demonic beasts' limbs and intestines everywhere. The strange fragrance in the arena had also dissipated. The remaining 10 or so demonic beasts didn't dare to continue fighting. They all focused their attention and vigilantly stared at each other. Chapter 217. Blue Bird. Kill any magical beast you like. A black-robed man, with a cloak on his head, said in a hoarse voice. On the dueling ring, there was a 1-meter-long bird with blue feathers. Its body was covered in blood. Hearing the black-robed man's words, it suddenly attacked the magical beast beside him. Careful! The magical beast's owner saw Blue Bird attack his magical beast and couldn't help but shout anxiously. He was only 1 step away from entering the Myriad Beast sect. Bluebird's movements were fierce and fast. Its hard beak instantly pierced through the magical beast's head, and a peak 3rd-rank magical beast core was in its mouth. Damn bird! Xueji sat cross-legged on a chair, a row of guards carefully waiting on him. He was about to get up and command his magical beast to kill Yi Hao's magical beast. Who would have thought that the black-robed man's magical beast would suddenly attack and ruin his plan? Shueji glared at the black-robed man with hatred. You better be careful. Shueji had two fifth-rank magical beasts and was determined to get first place. He directly warned the black-robed man. I don't think we should be enemies, the black-robed man said in a hoarse voice, pretending to be mysterious. Are you afraid of me? Shueji didn't care about the black-robed man's face and sneered. Idiot! The black-robed man muttered in a voice only he could hear. Congratulations to these magical beasts for successfully surviving. Congratulations to their master for becoming a disciple of our Thousand Beast sect. The old man in charge walked up to the stage and announced with a smile on his face. The crowd erupted in cheers. Everyone quiet down. The competition isn't over yet. Next, we'll fight for first place. Next, we'll fight one-on-one. The final winner will directly become an outer disciple of the Myriad Beast sect. Good. Contestants who've advanced, please come onto the stage and draw lots. The old man quickly announced the rules of the competition. He used his sword to write 10 numbers on the spot and threw the wooden tablet into a wooden box. Damn you. You still can't do it? Yihao went onto the stage at this moment. He was really training his face. He could acutely sense that there were many burning gazes on him. If it was like before, White Elephant could still sleep there and rely on its dragon aura to deter the other magical beast from attacking. Was he still so lucky? Could it be that his White Elephant could advance to the finals by sleeping? Yihao had already cursed the White Dragon Elephant hundreds of times in his heart, but the White Dragon Elephant just lay there like a dead elephant. Yihao, just pray that you don't meet me. Otherwise, I'll make your sleeping elephant die a horrible death. Yihao quickly drew a wooden card. Shueji stood beside Yihao and threatened him with a smug smile. Yihao glanced at Shueji. You're number 1, and I'm number 7. Can you match me? Idiot. In Shueji's eyes, Yihao was doomed to lose this round. So he pretended to be regretful and said, I really regret not killing you, little elephant. Boss, I'm number 2. What's your number? If you're number 9, I'll admit defeat. I Ching drew her wooden card and walked to Yihao's side. I'm number 7. You should compete well. If you enter the Wan Shou sect as a servant disciple, do you think your sister will let you off? Yihao was very happy with I Ching's good intentions. I Ching couldn't help but shrink her neck and complain, Boss, do you have to be so disappointing? Why don't I want to compete? It wasn't easy for me to straighten myself out. Contestants number 1 and 10, please come on stage. After drawing lots, the old host stood up and said respectfully, these people were already disciples of the Wan Shou sect. Even if they were servant disciples, their status was higher than his. Shueji immediately let White Mang and the leopard out and sat on White Mang's head. White Mang quickly climbed onto the stage. Haha, black-clothed boy, so it's you. Shueji sat on White Mang's head and looked at contestant number 7. He couldn't help but sneer. Who told you to ruin my plans? Your little bird can only die. Idiot. The black-clothed man looked at Shueji as if he was an idiot. However, his eyes swept across the remaining contestants and stopped on Yihao for a while. Sirs, I forfeit. Unexpectedly, the black-clothed man respectfully said to the old host, but his hoarse voice made people feel uncomfortable. Boy, at least you know what's good for you. The black-clothed man's words made Shueji very unhappy. He wanted to be in the limelight and let his magical beast slaughter everyone. Why was it so difficult? Good. Congratulations to this contestant for successfully advancing. The host felt that it was normal for the black-clothed man to forfeit. After all, the black-clothed man's magical beast was only at the 1st rank of the 5th rank. Shueji indeed had 2 5th-rank, 1st-rank magical beasts. As long as they didn't want their magical beast to die, they would choose the black-clothed man. It seems that this Shueji will be first place today. Elder One narrowed his eyes and said, if there are no accidents, it should be him. Bai Qingshan glanced at Bai Xiang and nodded. Elderly couldn't help but sneer. Accidents? What accidents can there be? Contestants number 2 and 9, please come up. The host respectfully shouted. Boss, I'll go up first. I Ching released her giant scorpion and white feather tiger, and said to Yi Hao with a smile. Yi Hao used appraisal and looked at I Ching's magical beasts. He found that the two magical beasts had actually reached the 5th rank. However, the strength they displayed was only at the 4th rank. Yi Hao nodded to I Ching. I Ching's opponents were also two magical beasts. One of them was at the peak of the 3rd rank, while the other was at the beginning of the 4th rank. It seemed that those who could enter the last round were not simple. Contestant number 9's magical beast was not bad, but couldn't withstand the attacks of I Ching's two magical beasts. Contestant number 9 quickly admitted defeat. Boss, look at my magical beasts. They're not bad, right? I Ching walked to Yi Hao with a trace of flaunting. Yi Hao rolled his eyes at I Ching and said softly, "Two 5th-rank magical beasts against 2 pieces of trash. You need so much time. Do you think you are strong?" "Yeah." I Ching rubbed her head. "I can't hide anything from boss." Soon, the other 2 contestants went up on stage. I Ching worriedly asked, "Boss, why are your magical beasts still sleeping? It's your turn next." Yi Hao looked at the sleeping white elephant and asked the artifact spirit, "How much longer? It's almost my turn. At least an incense stick's worth of time." The artifact spirit looked at the white dragon, giant elephant, and said, "An incense stick's worth of time." Yi Hao was speechless. Chapter 218. Let's welcome contestants number 4 and 7. The host paused for a moment when he mentioned contestant number 7, but he still announced it respectfully. "Ha ha, Xia Hao. I think you should just admit defeat. We don't want to see your magical beast being eaten in its sleep in front of so many people." Shueji sat on top of the white man's head and proudly said, "Host, I admit defeat." As soon as Shueji finished speaking, a voice admitting defeat sounded in the arena. "Okay, thank you contestant number 4 for advancing," the host said subconsciously. "Host, it's me. I admit defeat," contestant number 4 said anxiously. "What?" Everyone was stunned. They looked at contestant number 4 in confusion. The battle with Yi Hao's magical beast was undoubtedly the easiest battle. Why would he admit defeat? In the eyes of the crowd, if anyone had to admit defeat, it should be Yi Hao who admitted defeat. "Mr. Xia, thank you for your elixir, and thank Missy for giving me a discount. Take this as my repayment." Contestant number 4 turned to Yi Hao and said with a smile, "So it's you." Only then did Yi Hao remember that contestant number 4 was the contestant from yesterday, the one that he had given 2 tier 3 pills for free. Yi Hao clasped his fists at him. "Thank you. This first place is very important to me." In less than half an hour, the white dragon elephant would awaken. At that time, they would compete for first place. Then there would be hope. And the young man in front of him had undoubtedly helped him a lot. I should be the one thanking Mr. Xia. Otherwise, I might not even be able to enter the top 10. The young man was not tall and had dark skin. He smiled shyly. If Yi Hao hadn't given him 2 elixir for free and even gave him a 50% discount, he wouldn't have enough money to help his beast break through, let alone enter the top 10. "Okay, let's not talk nonsense. I'll treat you to a drink after the battle." Yi Hao patted the young man's shoulder happily. "I'm sorry, everyone. The winner of this round is contestant number 7. The host was a little embarrassed and announced again, "Damn, this works too. Don't tell me this beast can enter the top 3 while sleeping. Just what kind of background does this Xia Hao have?" This is 2. Seeing this result, many of the eliminated contestants spat out a mouthful of blood. They simply couldn't believe it. "Everyone, our competition is absolutely fair and just. All the decisions are made by the contestants, and we will not interfere." Hearing the clamor below, Bai Qingshang stood up and said softly. Since Bai Qingshang stood up to speak, the rest of the people did not dare to say anything. After the last 2 matches, number 1 Shueji, number 2 I Ching, number 3 contestant, number 7 Yi Hao, and number 10 successfully entered the next round. Everyone, do you still remember what we said at the start of the competition? Beast appraising not only depends on one's ability, but also on one's luck. Hence, we will draw lots again for this round. The contestant who draws a white token will successfully enter the top 3. The old man announced the rules again. 2 guards came over with a box. In front of everyone, the old man put 4 wooden tablets with numbers and a blank wooden tablet into the wooden box. Which one of you wants to go first? The old man asked Yi Hao and the other 4. I'll go first. Shuiji's voice was filled with arrogance. He jumped off White Mang's head and randomly drew a wooden tablet. Seeing the wooden tablet, he laughed heartily. What made our contestant so happy? Could it be that he successfully advanced? The old man's curious voice instantly piqued everyone's curiosity. Haha, number 1 again. Looks like I'm fated to be number 1 today. Shuiji proudly showed the number on the wooden tablet, revealing his confidence and arrogance. He, our contestant number 1, is very confident to fight for our number 1 spot. The old man did not care about Shuiji's performance at all. After all, he had the right to be arrogant. With 2 rank 5 demonic beasts under his command, who could compete with him? After Shuiji drew his wooden tablet, apart from Yi Hao and Yi Qing, the remaining 2 started to feel nervous. In their opinion, they still hoped that Shuiji would draw a blank wooden tablet. After all, none of them wanted to go against Shuiji. As long as they did not go against Shuiji, they had hope of entering the top 3. Boss, you go first. I don't care. Yi Qing stood beside Yi Hao and said. Yi Hao nodded. He also wanted to draw a blank wooden tablet. Because the white dragon giant elephant had not yet awakened, it still needed some time. Wait a moment, I'll go first. Just as Yi Hao was about to reach out his hand, contestant number 10 suddenly stood up and quickly took out a number 3 wooden tablet from the wooden box. He breathed a sigh of relief. You dare to fight with my boss? You better not meet me. Otherwise, you'll die a horrible death. Yi Qing looked at contestant number 10 unhappily and said coldly, 3 elders, I have a request. Suddenly, Shuiji put away the arrogance on his face and bowed to the 3 elders. He was not stupid. He also knew what kind of attitude he should show in front of the 3 elders. Speak. Bai Qing Shang said softly. 3 elders, this disciple wants to make a request. That is, in the following competition, no one is allowed to give up. I'm afraid that some people will smoothly advance. Shuiji looked at Yi Hao and Yi Qing with a meaningful look. I'm afraid this is not appropriate. Bai Qing Shang's heart was actually biased towards Yi Hao. Everyone present could see that Yi Hao and Yi Qing had a good relationship. If there were no accidents, Yi Hao could still enter the top 3. As long as Yi Hao could draw a blank wooden tablet or draw a wooden tablet that was the opponent of Yi Qing, and as long as Yi Qing gave up, Yi Hao could enter the top 3. I agree with this contestant's proposal. I also agree with this contestant's proposal. Shuiji's proposal was obviously aimed at Yi Hao. Elder Wan and Elderly also did not like Yi Hao. Naturally, they were very satisfied with Shuiji's decision. The 2 of them said softly, and the 2 elders did not forget to give Shuiji a look. Well then, no one is allowed to give up in the following competition. Since the 2 elders had spoken, Bai Qing Shang also could not say anything. He could only think in his heart that if there was no other choice, even if he had to go all out, he would save Yi Hao's life. Okay, the remaining 3 contestants, please continue to draw lots. Yi Hao walked to the front of the wooden box. Yi Qing was afraid that another contestant would delay Yi Hao, so she deliberately pulled the contestant to talk. That contestant could only helplessly watch Yi Hao draw lots. The wooden box was covered with the spiritual sense of the 3 elders to prevent cheating. Yi Hao could not help but sneer. The power of the system is not something that can be detected by your spiritual sense. Probing technique. Yi Hao immediately used the probing technique, and a scene inside the wooden box instantly appeared in Yi Hao's mind. Why are you still in a daze? Don't tell me you want to cheat? Shuiji, who was standing to the side, saw Yi Hao in a daze and could not help but sneer. Chapter 219. Are you King crazy? Why don't you try cheating? Before Yi Hao could speak, Yi Qing was annoyed and directly scolded. You better pray that you don't encounter it, or your magical beast will die a horrible death. Shuiji glanced at Yi Qing and found that he was no match for her, so he could only threaten her with his magical beast. Do you think I'm afraid of you, a kitten and a snake? Yi Qing scoffed at Shuiji's threat and didn't care at all. If you dare to say another word of nonsense, believe it or not, I'll kill you. Yi Hao turned his head, squinted his eyes, and asked with a chuckle. Xue Ji still wanted to say something, but when he saw Yi Hao's eyes, his heart trembled for no reason, and he could only turn his head to the side. Coward! Yi Hao curled his lips and reached into the wooden box. He took out a wooden token and threw it to the host. The host quickly caught the wooden token and looked at it. He quickly eased the atmosphere and said, "Congratulations to our contestant number 7. You've drawn the lucky wooden token and directly advanced to the top 3. What? Xue Ji couldn't help but turn his head. His face was full of disbelief, but when he met Yi Hao's eyes, he instantly turned his head away. That's great, boss. I Ching saw that Yi Hao had drawn the white wooden token, and she was even more excited than herself. Do you want to draw first, or should I? I Ching glanced at contestant number 3 beside her and asked casually. You do it. Seeing that the white token had been drawn, the probability of fighting Xue Ji next was as high as 50%. Contestant number 3 was also very nervous, and he made an inviting gesture to I Ching. I Ching curled her lips. It's a battle between magical beasts, not you. Why are you so nervous? I Ching took out a wooden token from the wooden box. When she saw the number on it, she suddenly laughed. Yi Hao looked at contestant number 10 pitifully. If he didn't guess wrong, I Ching's opponent was definitely him. Contestant number 10 saw I Ching laugh loudly and cast a mocking look at him. He didn't care at all. He had already observed I Ching's magical beast. However, there were just 2 beginner rank for magical beasts, while he had 2 magical beasts. One of them was a mid-rank for magical beast, while the other was a peak rank for magical beast. Therefore, it was very easy for him to deal with I Ching. Following this, contestant number 3's face darkened. Now that he was the only one left, there was a 100% chance that his opponent would be Xue Ji. Did he still have any hope of winning? Can I admit defeat? Contestant number 3 asked embarrassedly. Sorry, the rules have just been changed. You will only have a chance to admit defeat if the magical beast is unable to move, the host said apologetically. Contestant number 3 reluctantly released his class 5 demonic beast, the fire ape. All right, let the match begin. Tear that big monkey apart for me. Xue Ji roared out, wanting to vent the humiliation in his heart. Contestant number 3's expression changed. Fire ape, go. Xue Ji's white mang received the order, and its huge tail fiercely smashed towards the fire ape. The fire ape's reaction was very fast. It immediately rushed towards Xue Ji's leopard. The white mang's tail missed and directly smashed into the arena. Instantly, stone fragments flew everywhere, and a ditch that was half a meter deep and a few meters long appeared on the ground. The fire ape was also very smart. It knew that it wasn't a fight between 2 magical beasts. Taking advantage of the fact that the white mang's attack missed, it raised its huge fist and smashed towards the leopard's head. Roar! The leopard's speed was like a bolt of lightning. It wanted to quickly dodge. How could the fire ape let it succeed? Its fist landed on the leopard's abdomen. The leopard received a huge impact and was instantly sent flying. Good! Contestant number 3 excitedly shouted. Not good, quickly dodge. Just as the fire ape wanted to follow up with another attack, the white mang, whose attack missed, also learned to be smart and wanted to directly entangle the fire ape. When the fire ape heard its master's order, it immediately spat out a flame behind it. The fire ape landed on the white mang's body. Although the white mang was in pain, it still didn't want to let the fire ape go. Its tail wrapped around one of the fire ape's legs. The fire ape was furious and restless. Its fists were like pieces of bricks as it hit the white mang's body. The white mang was in so much pain that it let out a hiss. When the leopard heard the white mang's cry, it quickly got up from the ground, shook its body, and let out a low roar. The leopard opened its bloody mouth and revealed its sharp teeth. It pounced towards the fire ape's throat. The fire ape narrowly dodged, but a piece of its flesh was also taken away by the leopard. The leopard was a speed-type magical beast. Its speed was already one of the best among magical beasts of the same level. Now that the fire ape was entangled by the white mang, The leopard kept moving between the white mang and the fire ape, and kept biting the fire ape. Ah! The fire ape let out a shocking cry, but the white mang's grip became tighter and tighter. Gradually, both of the fire ape's arms were entangled. I roar. When contestant number 3 saw the fire ape's miserable state, his heart ached. Just as he was about to open his mouth and admit defeat, the leopard was one step ahead of him. It directly bit the leopard's throat. Fire ape. Contestant number 3 yelled with heartache. At this moment, the white mang also let go of its body. The leopard also returned to Shui Ji's side. The fire ape unwillingly covered its throat and fell to the ground. Haha, not bad, Pill Pill said happily. At the same time, he took out 2 pills and threw them to the 2 magical beasts so that they could recover their strength. Congratulations to contestant number 1 for entering the top 3. Please move on to the next group. The host was already used to this kind of scene. He ordered people to carry the fire ape's body away. Play those 2 animals to death. I Ching jumped down from the white feather tiger. The 7 to 8 meter long white feather tiger and the giant lizard stood together. After receiving I Ching's order, the white feather tiger and the giant lizard each faced a magical beast. They quickly killed contestant number 10's magical beast. How is that possible? I want to admit defeat. Contestant number 10's expression changed slightly when he saw the strength of I Ching's 2 magical beasts. They didn't look like rank for magical beasts, but it was too late. His 2 magical beasts were torn apart. Who told you to fight with my boss? You better be careful next time. I Ching sat on the white feather tiger and warned him. Contestant number 10 was in a daze. In the blink of an eye, his 2 magical beasts were gone. How could he not be heartbroken? Those were the beasts that he had cultivated with all his resources. Just because he had fought with Yi Hao, all of it was gone. Congratulations to Yi Hao, Shui Ji, and I Ching for successfully advancing. Next, we will draw lots again. The rules are the same as before. One person will directly advance to the championship battle, and the remaining 2 will continue the competition. It's finally awake. Yi Hao had been observing the white dragon elephant's movements. The white dragon elephant that had been lying motionless suddenly moved. Chapter 220. I Ching, do you really want to give up the chance to draw lots and give up the first place? The host was still worried about I Ching, whose decision, because in the last round, I Ching's magical beast whose strength had been exposed. It was also 2 level 5 magical beasts. If they really fought, it was not certain who would win. Anyway, 2nd and 3rd place are the same. How would I dare to fight with my boss for first place? I Ching flattered Yi Hao with a smile. What shameless boasting. That little elephant wants to fight for first place. Shui Ji disdained to think nonsense in his heart, but he really did not dare to say it out loud. If I Ching competed with him, he might not be able to get first place. But against Yi Hao, Hu Bai Xiang, Shui Ji, who was still full of confidence. Okay, then the last round of the competition, the fight for first place. The outer sect disciples officially begin. The host quickly finished his nonsense and walked down the stage. Boss, go for it. Kill that little snake and kitten. I Ching no longer has any reason to worship Yi Hao now. Get up quickly. If you can't get first place, I'll roast you. Yi Hao walked behind the white dragon elephant and kicked the white dragon elephant's butt. The white dragon elephant looked at Yi Hao aggrievedly and slowly stood up. As if it was not awake yet, its 2 huge ears drooped and its long nose swayed weakly. Ha ha! I think you should bring this white elephant back to sleep. Don't embarrass yourself here. Elder Wan sneered at the still sleeping white dragon elephant. I really don't know how this kind of contestant who can enter the top 3. Elder Wan, you can't say that. No matter what, they are our Wan Shou sect's disciples. We have to treat them equally. Bai Ching Shan coughed and said, Old bastard, I'll kill you sooner or later. Yi Hao looked coldly at Elder Wan and scolded in his heart. Come on, Master Xia, let's have a fight to the death. Shui Ji, who stood at a corner of the stage and loudly declared the battle. Since you're so eager to die, then come at me. Yi Hao patted the head of the white dragon elephant. At this moment, all the spectators were focused on the arena. They wanted to know who would be stronger. Until now, I still haven't seen that dizzy white elephant. Other than some strange scales on its limbs, there's nothing special about it. Just watch. I feel that Master Shui will definitely win this time. I really don't feel anything. Even the fire ape was killed by Master Shui, who's two devil beasts. How could this white elephant be stronger than the fire ape? Almost none of the onlookers thought highly of Yi Hao. Only Yi Qing curled her lips and said, "You guys can't tell what's so special about Boss's devil whisker beast." Although Yi Qing could not see anything special about the white elephant, she believed that since Yi Hao was so confident, the white elephant must have something special about it. Shui Ji, didn't you want to kill me? Why don't we play something? Just when Shui Ji's devil beast was about to attack, Yi Hao suddenly opened his mouth and said, because they were all participants in the same round, they couldn't casually attack each other. However, Shui Ji Lao was jumping around in front of his round. Yi Hao really couldn't stand it. Only by killing him would he be able to suppress the anger in his heart. "Oh, what is it?" Seeing Yi Hao looking at him with a chuckle, Shui Ji asked with a little fear in his heart, "Didn't you look down on my devil beast? Why don't we do it this way? Whoever's devil beast loses, he will directly commit suicide. I don't know if you dare." Yi Hao said softly, "Shui Ji, as long as you agree, after you win, I will accept you as my last disciple." Just when Shui Ji was hesitating and did not know whether to agree or not, Elder One suddenly stood up and said, "And me, as long as you have the body, I will reward you with a few treasures." Just when Elder One finished his words, Bai Qingsheng wanted to stop him. Elder Huli looked at Bai Qingsheng with a sneer and directly said, "The two of you, this is not appropriate." Bai Qingsheng's face turned ugly and said in a deep voice, "Elder Bai, this matter was brought up by Yi Hao. Moreover, the sect also allows competitors to compete. We did not do anything wrong." Elder Wan's face showed dissatisfaction and looked at Bai Qingsheng. "That's right, Elder Bai. This matter should be decided by them." Elder Li and Elder Wan stood at the side and spoke in favor of Shui Ji. "Fine. If there is any mistake, I will report it to the sect. The consequences will be borne by you." Bai Qingsheng snorted and closed his eyes. Seeing that the two elders wanted to kill Yi Hao, Shui Ji felt that his chance had come. As long as he grasped it, he would be like a fish in water. Shui Ji carefully looked at Bai Xiang and then looked at Yi Hao. Then he saw the two elders encouraging him. Shui Ji made up his mind. "Fine, this is what you said. Whoever loses will commit suicide." Heavens, is there a mistake? It was just a contest between magical beasts. How did it turn into a duel? Ha! This is going to be a good show. Is this Yi Hao smart or stupid? Not only did he lose his devil beast, he also wants to send himself to death. The two people's decision made everyone feel that it was inconceivable. What kind of grudge did the two of them have? Was there a need to risk their lives? This damned Hu Xiahao. How could he make such a rash decision? Could it be that his Bai Xiang has the strength of a 5th level? Xie Chunyu, who was hiding in the crowd, was currently wearing a soldier's uniform. He had already cursed Yi Hao 1,000 times in his heart. "Xiahao, do your best." Hu Miaoyan, who was wearing a red outfit and still had a pink scarf covering his face, couldn't help but feel nervous when he heard about the bet between Yi Hao and Shui Jihu. He crossed his arms and prayed for Yi Hao. "Xiahao Gij, you must defeat that Shui Ji. You can't die." Song Shanshan was also looking at Yi Hao on the stage anxiously. She was also praying in her heart. On the other hand, Yi Qing was the calmest. She believed that Yi Hao wouldn't make a rash decision. Since Yi Hao was willing to add this bargaining chip, it meant that Yi Hao was absolutely confident in winning. Yi Qing saw Yi Miaoyan and Song Shanshan, who were praying nervously in the crowd. She immediately walked over and comforted them. "Don't worry, sisters-in-law. Since our boss has made this decision, it means that he is full of confidence. You have to trust him." "Yes." Hearing Yi Qing's words, Yi Miaoyan slightly nodded. Her eyes were fixed on Yi Haohu the whole time. When Song Shanshan heard Yi Qing call her sister-in-law, she blushed and was overjoyed. Chapter 2:21. Roar. Shueji's leopard looked at the white dragon elephant with disdain as it shook its body and roared. Hiss! The white Mang also curled up its body and let out a hissing sound. Boom! When the white dragon elephant saw that it was being looked down upon by its opponent, it lifted one of its huge legs and stomped on the stage to vent its anger. The stage was instantly torn apart. Roar! The white dragon elephant shook its trunk and let out a strange roar. It sounded like a dragon, but it wasn't a dragon. It sounded like an elephant, but it wasn't an elephant. When Shueji heard the white dragon elephant's roar, he couldn't help but sneer. This can't be a hybrid white elephant, right? This sound is so funny. When Bai Qingshang heard the white dragon elephant's roar, he suddenly sat up straight and looked at the white dragon elephant. What is this sound? Why is it so strange? When the leopard and the white Mang heard the white dragon elephant's roar, their bodies suddenly shook. The two beasts looked at each other and saw the caution in each other's eyes. They put away their disdain. Roar! Whoosh! The leopard roared, and the white Mang suddenly attacked the white dragon elephant like a bolt of white lightning. The white draconic elephant lazily flicked its ears and stretched out its long trunk towards the leopard. It instantly hit the leopard's waist, but the leopard opened its mouth and wanted to bite the white draconic elephant's trunk. The white Mang also cooperated with the leopard, wanting to entangle the white dragon elephant. The leopard was a rank 5 magical beast, and its body was similar to the white dragon elephant. If it were to bite, the white dragon elephant wouldn't have it easy either. When the white dragon elephant saw the leopard and the white Mang attacking it from both sides, it was enraged. Once again, it let out a strange roar. Suddenly, the white dragon elephant's body rapidly grew. In the blink of an eye, the white dragon elephant's body grew to 30 meters long and 20 meters tall. The white Mang in front of it was really like a small snake. Seeing the white dragon elephant suddenly grow, the leopard and the white Mang were filled with fear and immediately wanted to escape. Roar! Seeing that the leopard and white Mang wanted to escape, the white dragon elephant angrily roared and smacked the leopard's body with its trunk. At the same time, it lifted its huge leg and fiercely stomped on White Mang's body. The leopard was hit by the white dragon elephant and flew out of the ring, smashing into the ground. It lay on the ground, unable to move at all. On the other hand, White Mang was more or less snapped in half by the white dragon elephant. His entire body was badly mutilated, and he didn't even have the qualifications to resist. No! Shueji let out a painful roar. He couldn't understand how the seemingly ordinary white elephant had suddenly turned into a colossus. The two magical beasts that he was proud of were both seriously injured in an instant. Trample it into meat paste. Although Yi Hao was mentally prepared for the white dragon elephant's transformation, he did not expect the white dragon elephant to change so much. After all, when the white dragon elephant took the pill to break through, its body would constantly grow bigger. But after taking the dragon's blood, its body would shrink again. But compared to when the white dragon elephant was in a deep sleep, the white dragon elephant's body had doubled in size. Although White Mang was seriously injured, he knew that he would not be able to escape death today. He wanted to die together with the white dragon elephant, so he wanted to detonate his own crystal core. Seeing White Mang's actions, Shueji didn't feel any heartache. Instead, he shouted out happily, "Good! I didn't train you in vain." A magical beast's crystal core was where the magical beast's power lay. If White Mang self-destructed, even if it couldn't kill the white dragon elephant, it could at least severely injure the white dragon elephant. Seeing that White Mang wanted to self-destruct, the white dragon elephant's eyes flashed with fear. It immediately swung its trunk and flung White Mang away. White Mang's eyes were filled with unwillingness. He didn't expect that even if he self-destructed, he wouldn't be able to hurt the white dragon elephant. Boom! White Mang flew hundreds of meters into the air and successfully exploded. Instantly, it was as if it was raining blood on the stage, and White Mang's body was also shattered. No! Impossible! Shueji still couldn't believe it. He looked at the white dragon elephant with fear. He knew that he had lost, but he didn't want to die. He wanted to escape while no one was paying attention. What One Show School's disciples? compared to his own life was more important. Is that still a white elephant? Is a white elephant that powerful? Are you an idiot? Is Mr. Xia's normal white elephant? That's a mutated magical beast. Naturally, it's not something a normal white elephant can compare to. TSK. Then why did you look down on Mr. Xia's magical beasts? Xia Hao, I knew you would want it. Seeing the white dragon elephant unleashing its power and instantly killing Xue Ji's two magical beasts, the worry on Yi Miaolian's face instantly disappeared, and the frown on her face relaxed. Yay! I knew that Brother Xia is the best. Song Shanshan didn't care at all and directly jumped up in excitement. Boss is indeed the boss. He's so overpowered, and even his magical beasts are so overpowered. Looking at the giant creature, I Ching swallowed her saliva. Although Yi Hao's white dragon elephant was still at the peak of rank 4, it could instantly kill 2 beginner rank 5 magical beasts. In other words, after the white dragon elephant transformed, its realm would be increased by a whole realm. In other words, although the white dragon elephant was a rank 4 magical beast, it could already fight against a peak rank 5 magical beast, or even a beginner rank 6 magical beast. Xia Hao, what a mysterious man. The most surprised person here was Xie Chunyu. She more or less knew about Yi Hao's identity. He was the emperor of a principality. But everything about Yi Hao was so inconceivable. Others didn't know about Yi Hao's identity, but they could guess that Yi Hao was a person of a big power. Now Xie Chunyu had some doubts. Was Yi Hao running to Yanlong to be the emperor for fun? And Yi Hao had an even more powerful identity, but she didn't know about it. Humph! No matter who you are, as long as you can help me take revenge otherwise. Xie Chunyu stared at Yi Hao's back and secretly pondered. This magical beast, no matter what, I will get it. The greedy voice of Bai Qingshang unceasingly sounded in his heart. If at the beginning he was only curious about the white dragon elephant, but now after seeing the power of the white dragon elephant, he wanted to use the white dragon elephant for himself. This white dragon elephant was only at the peak of rank 4, but it could erupt with such a strong fighting strength. If it was in his hands, it would be even more powerful. Bai Qingshang looked at the white dragon elephant, and the more he looked, the more he liked it, and the more he wanted to take it back from Yi Hao. Moreover, he had already sent people to investigate Yi Hao's identity, although he hadn't found anything yet, but there was no one with the surname Xia in the nearby big power. So in his eyes, Yi Hao was nothing. But Yi Hao had I Ching, which made him somewhat suspicious. But as long as he went to Wan Shou's sect, everything would be out of Yi Hao's control. I hope you can obediently give me the magical beast. I will never let you suffer, but if you don't know what's good for you, then don't blame me. Bai Qingshang said softly in his heart. Chapter 222. Strange. Yi Hao was puzzled. In his opinion, Bai Qingshang was a good person, but he clearly felt a phone appear behind him, and that was in the direction of Bai Qingshang. Yi Hao glanced at Bai Qingshang without leaving a trace and instantly understood what was going on. So, it's for the white dragon elephant. I didn't expect you to expose your nature for a magical beast. Xue Ji, are you trying to run? Yi Hao suddenly used the butterfly shadow spell and appeared in front of Xue Ji. He took out the blood-scarred dual blades and placed it in front of Xue Ji's neck. No. Grandpa Xia Hao, spare me. Please let me go. Xue Ji could feel that the blood-scarred dual blades, sharp blades, were already embedded in his neck. As long as Yi Hao moved a little, his life would be over. I'll kowtow to you and apologize. I'll do whatever you want to do. Xue Ji kept begging for mercy. Then do you have a reason for me not to kill you? Yi Hao wanted to get some information about the Beast Monster Lodge from Xue Ji. After all, he needed to deal with the Beast Monster Lodge before entering the Myriad Beast sect. Xue Ji's eyes darted around. When he saw Yi Hao's impatient face, he hurriedly said, My father-in-law sent someone back to the Beast Monster sect. I have a feeling that they will find trouble with you. That's all? Then you should die. Yi Hao said softly. The blood-scarred dual blades quickly slit Xue Ji's throat. Xue Ji hurriedly covered his throat with both hands, but he couldn't stop the blood from flowing out. Xue Ji's eyes were filled with unwillingness and regret. Beast Monster Lodge, this is troublesome. Yi Hao put the white dragon elephant into the purple-red jade token. At the same time, he searched Shueji's body for the leopard's purple-red jade token. After erasing Shueji's aura, he put the leopard into the purple-red jade token. In the Myriad Kingdom continent, as long as a magical beast didn't die, it could be restored to its original state after being placed in the purple-red jade token. But looking at the leopard's injuries, it would take a long time to recover. Host, please announce the results. Yi Hao said to the host with a smile. Since the host didn't announce the results, the system wouldn't prompt the completion of the mission. When the host heard Yi Hao's words, he quickly recovered from a shock. He was afraid of Yi Hao's every time. Why did he always kill people in front of everyone? SIs. The MC glanced at the three elders. As if their minds were elsewhere, they nodded. The old man quickly announced the results. Thank you, young Master Xiahao, for winning first place in the Beast Appraisal Competition and becoming an outer disciple of the Thousand Beast sect. At the same time, you've also received a rank 7 magical beast egg. There's a prize? Yi Hao was a little surprised to receive a class 7 magical beast egg. Do you have any purple-red jade tokens? Give me a few. Yi Hao looked at the old man and asked. The more the merrier, of course, Yi Hao said as he rubbed his hands. He had saved a lot of money this time. There were so many things he needed to spend his money on. Young Master Xiahao, that's our warehouse. There are many purple-red jade tokens in there. If you need them, feel free to take them, the old man said as he respectfully handed the magical beast egg to Yi Hao and pointed at a small warehouse. Yi Hao glanced at the magical beast egg and realized it was only a rank 5 magical beast egg. He couldn't help but curl his lips and ask in confusion, These are rank 7 magical beast eggs? The old man looked a little embarrassed. He looked at Yi Hao and said softly, Young Master Xia, how can there be so many rank 7 magical beast eggs? Even a myriad beast sect considers them treasures. How could they be willing to give them to an outside disciple? This is just a gimmick. All right, even this is fake. Yi Hao pursed his lips. But when he thought about how he had stolen tens of thousands of magical beast eggs from the myriad beast sect, Yi Hao didn't want to be too calculative. All right, everyone, you guys continue chatting. I still have something to do. Yi Hao clasped his fist at the crowd. At the same time, he didn't forget to announce, Oh right, if you need pills, you can come to the Beast King Pavilion. After Yi Hao finished speaking, he hugged the magical beast egg and left in a hurry. Ha! Purple-red jade token, I'm coming. Yi Hao chuckled and walked towards the warehouse. The old man looked at Yi Hao's back view awkwardly. He was stunned on the stage and didn't know what to do. The first place had run away, the second place had been killed, and the three elders seemed to have something in mind. The hundreds of thousands of people below the stage were still looking at him. MC, now that the second place is dead, there's one less spot. Should we continue the competition? Some of the odd job disciples were grateful to Yi Hao for killing Shueji and giving them another chance. When the old man heard the question, he looked at the three elders. The three elders whispered to each other. Bai Qingshang stood up and said, You are now third place. As for the rest of the contestants, as long as their magical beast can defeat this contestant's magical beast, they will become third place until no one challenges them. Bai Qingshang pointed at the black-clothed man and said. The black-clothed man nodded and released his blue bird. The black-clothed man's blue bird wasn't weak either. It had reached the first rank of the 5th rank. The rest of the contestants looked at the black-clothed man's magical beast and shook their heads. They didn't dare to challenge it. Contestants, seize the opportunity. As long as you succeed, you can become an apprentice disciple. The MC continued to hype up the atmosphere. I want to try. Brother, please don't be offended. The dark-skinned man who got Yi Hao's pill stood up and clasped his fist. Let's begin. The black-clothed man nodded and said in a hoarse voice, Brother, I admit defeat. The dark-skinned man knew the gap between his magical beast and the black-clothed man's magical beast. He shook his head and said with a wry smile. The black-clothed man nodded and stood in the corner of the ring like a statue. Damn, so many purple-red jade cards. I'm rich. Yihao smoothly walked into the small warehouse. The guards didn't dare to stop him. Yihao looked at more than a dozen boxes. Yihao opened the big boxes one by one. Each box was piled full of purple-red jade cards. Yihao roughly estimated that there were at least 10,000 purple-red jade cards in each box. I'm a bastard who doesn't take advantage. Yihao smiled and put all the boxes into his space. Hey, what's this? Yihao was about to close the last box when he found a purple-red jade card. It looked a little different from the others. Chapter 223. What a strange jade token. There seems to be words on it. Even I can't recognize them. It seems to be a random scribble, but it doesn't seem to be. It's really strange. The spirit looked at the strange jade token in Yihao's hand and muttered in confusion. Big worm, come and see if you recognize these words. The spirit was also very curious about the jade token. He called the giant dragon over and asked. The giant dragon was a race that had survived from ancient times to the present. Moreover, each generation would pass down their memories. Therefore, the giant dragon definitely knew more than him. The giant dragon flew over lazily. What words? Do you need me to do it? The giant dragon extended his spiritual sense out of the dragon prison lake and looked at the jade token in Yihao's hand indifferently. Isn't it just a purple-red medium? Wait a minute. How can this thing exist? It's impossible for such a thing to exist. The giant dragon didn't care at first. However, when he saw the words on the jade token, his body suddenly trembled and he lost his composure. What's different about this jade token? Yihao used the detection technique just now and found a bunch of question marks on the jade token. This meant that his level wasn't high enough to check this jade token. Please forgive me, my lord. I can't say anything about this unless my lord has reached the martial god realm. Otherwise, even if my lord knows about this, it won't benefit my lord at all. The giant dragon recovered from his shock and quickly said solemnly, Big worm, what else is there that my lord can't know? The spirit looked at the giant dragon in confusion. He didn't understand. The giant dragon glared at the spirit and then transmitted its voice to the spirit's mind. The spirit's expression changed. He looked at the giant dragon in disbelief. How can it be? You can't be mistaken. There really is such a heaven-defying thing in this world. The giant dragon was also afraid that he had seen wrongly. He looked at the jade token in Yihao's hand again and saw the strange words on it. He said with certainty, It's definitely right. My lord, the big worm is right this time. It's better for you to know less about this matter. You must keep the jade token well and don't show it to others easily. The spirit said cautiously. All right. Even though Yihao was very interested in the pendants, he knew it was no trivial matter when he saw their reaction. He clenched his fists tightly. Martial God Realm, another Martial God Realm cultivator. If he wanted to save his father, he would need to be a martial god. Even if he wanted to find the pendant and learn its origin, he would still need to be a martial god. Why hasn't the mission notification appeared yet? Could it be that the battle outside hasn't ended yet? Yihao muttered softly as he stored the jade token into the system's storage. Dong, dong, dong. Just as Yihao put the jade card into his space, the system suddenly sounded a strong warning in his mind. What's going on? Yihao asked the system in confusion. He thought something special had happened. Host, you can exchange that jade token with the system. I will give you 1 billion experience points. The system's voice sounded in Yihao's mind. How much? 1 billion? Did I hear wrongly? Yihao asked in shock. What exactly is this jade pendant? This is the origin energy of this world. To be exact, it is the power of beast vigor. But this is only a part of it. It is not complete. The system was silent for a while. Just when Yihao thought that the system would not tell him, the system suddenly said, The origin energy? The power of beast vigor? Yihao repeated the system's words in his mind. That's right. Every planet has its own origin energy, and every planet's origin energy is different. It is because of the origin energy that everything in the world can be created. I did not know that the origin energy in this world is the power of beast vigor. System, are you also the origin energy? Does the Earth have the origin energy as well? Yi Hao asked curiously. I can be considered as one. Of course, there's also the power of origin on Earth. However, the power of origin is even weaker. They're like my clones. Now that the Chaos Realm is lacking, I am the only one left, the system said sadly. In other words, there is a stronger origin energy above you. Yi Hao guessed. That's right. I was injured by a stronger origin, which led to the chaotic realm being lacking. I had no choice but to take this path. Whether or not I succeed depends on you. The system did not hide anything from Yi Hao. Then what is the use of this power of beast vigor? If you can find all of this power of beast vigor, then you can control all the beasts in the Myriad Kingdom continent. Even if they are resurrected, you can easily do it. So powerful. Hearing that he could control all the beasts in the Myriad Kingdom continent, Yi Hao took a deep breath. If he could control the power of beast vigor, it would be equivalent to him controlling the origin energy. Although it was not as powerful as the system, it was enough to make Yi Hao very excited. But Yi Hao immediately thought of the problem. According to what you said, the origin energy should have its own consciousness. Why did it turn into a jade token? This is what I wanted to say. I think the origin of the Myriad Kingdom continent should have been controlled by someone. But for some reason, the origin of this world shattered and turned into the jade token in your hand. And the purple-red jade token in your hand should have been made by that person. After the system finished speaking, Yi Hao suddenly realized, no wonder it is so similar. Who is this person that could be shattered by the origin of this world? Looking at the jade token in his hand, Yi Hao thought in shock. But I suggest that you don't exchange it for experience. I can give you a mission, but I don't know if you can complete it. In the end, you can dominate the Myriad Kingdom continent. I can also control the origin of the Myriad Kingdom continent. What mission? Yi Hao asked anxiously. Find the remaining 8 origins. You will be rewarded with 10 billion experience points and unlock all the Earth's generals. The system's voice sounded in Yi Hao's mind. Okay, I will accept this mission, Yi Hao said without hesitation. When he heard that he could unlock all the generals, Yi Hao was instantly excited. Yi Hao guessed that if he handed the jade token to the system would probably swallow it. If he controlled the origin of this world, then he would be the master of this world. Yi Hao was also wary of the system. After all, he could not completely trust the system's words. If the system disappeared one day, then he would have nothing. Moreover, if he controlled the origin of this world, it would not be bad for the system. Since he could control this world and gain experience points, why not? Ding dong. Thank you, host, for accepting the origin mission. If you find one origin, you will be rewarded with 1 billion experience points. This origin is not included, so you will be rewarded with a total of 10 billion experience points. Hearing Yi Hao's decision, the system's voice sounded. Chapter 2:24. Ding dong. Congratulations to host for winning first place in the Beast Appraisal competition. Reward, 500,000 experience points. Ding dong. Congratulations to host for leveling up. Current level, 3rd level Martial King. Ding dong. Congratulations to host for leveling up. Current level, 4th level Martial King. Just as Yi Hao was about to ask the system why he still hadn't completed the mission, the system's notification rang out. Young Master Xia, the top 3 of the competition are out. Please go to the arena. Just then, a guard knocked on the door of the warehouse and shouted loudly. Coming. Yi Hao scanned the warehouse. After confirming that there was nothing left, he walked out. Xia Hao, congratulations. Where's your magical beast egg? Seeing Yi Hao walking over, the host quickly asked with a smile. Then, he looked at the ring on Yi Hao's hand, and a look of realization dawned on his face. Yi Hao chuckled and nodded. The ring on his hand was just a cover. It wasn't a storage ring at all. All right, the Beast Appraisal competition is over. You disciples, report to the 1,000 Beasts sect in half a month. Those who are late will be expelled. The 3 elders looked at Yi Hao and the others in the arena and gave them a few words of advice. Then, they gave each of them a token. After that, they directly summoned their own flying magical beasts and flew away. Everyone looked at the backs of the three elders with envious expressions. Yi Hao glanced at the token in his hand. The words Outer Disciple were written on the front and Thousand Beast Sect were written on the back. This should represent his identity. Yi Hao observed his token and noticed the difference between it and the servant and intern disciples. There was a single golden line on the intern disciple token. The servant disciple token didn't have one. I Ching and the black-clothed man's tokens had 2 golden lines while his had 3. Boss, stop looking. The 3 golden lines on your token means you're an elite outer disciple. Your rank is higher than mine, so you'll be treated better, I Ching said nonchalantly. It seemed like she didn't care about the Thousand Beasts sex treatment at all. Yi Hao nodded and tossed the token into his space. Where's that dog Xia Hao? How dare he kill my son-in-law? Suddenly, a group of people squeezed through the crowd and surrounded the arena. The leader was none other than the housemaster of the Beast Monster Lodge. He wanted to wait for Xueji's good news in the store, but he didn't get any good news. Instead, he got the news of Xueji's death. He didn't care about Xueji's life or death, but Xueji's death meant that all his hard work had gone down the drain. In any case, he was an outer sect deacon of the Beast Demon Lodge, the lodge master of the Beast Demon Lodge in Beast King City. He had been in the Beast Demon Lodge for nearly half his life, and no one dared to disrespect him. However, this Xia Hao had repeatedly slapped him in the face and ruined his plans. It was truly intolerable. Yi Hao walked to a corner of the arena and looked at Xueji's head. Suddenly, he kicked the housemaster of Beast Demon Abode. So it's Housemaster Zhou. Your son-in-law is here. Take it. Scram. Seeing the head flying towards him, the housemaster of Beast Demon Abode waved his sleeve and instantly sent Xueji's head flying. Xia Hao, don't say that I'm bullying you. Compete with me in alchemy. As long as you win, I'll withdraw from Beast King City, and this city will belong to your Beast King Pavilion. However, if you lose, you have to commit suicide. The housemaster of Beast Demon Abode gave a signal with his eyes, and dozens of martial kings surrounded Yi Hao. Oh, are you threatening me? Yi Hao glanced at the dozens of martial kings before softly looking at the housemaster of Beast Demon Abode. I'll threaten you today. Are you going to compete or not? The housemaster of Beast Demon Abode directly laid his cards on the table. He was determined to kill Yi Hao today. Old thing, you're too overbearing. If you lose, you'll just withdraw from Beast King City. However, if my boss loses, he wants to commit suicide. As the housemaster of Beast Demon Abode, I Ching wasn't afraid at all. She directly stood out and said, do you think I can still survive if I withdraw from Beast King City? The housemaster of Beast Demon Abode snorted coldly. Boss, you mustn't compete with him. This old man is quite skilled. I heard that he can refine rank 5 pills. Xueji's 2 rank 5 demonic beasts are all thanks to him. I Ching whispered beside Yi Hao. Isn't this housemaster of Beast Demon Abode being a bully? Young Master Xia might not even know how to refine pills. So how can he compare to him? Isn't he just trying to take young Master Xia's life? Who told him to kill Xueji? Now that his father-in-law is here to take revenge, it's only right. Sai, he just won first place in the beast appraisal competition, and now he's going to be killed. What a tragedy. The surrounding crowd was in a heated discussion. Many who were about to leave stopped in their tracks. Housemaster Zhou, no matter what, Xia Hao is still a disciple of the Thousand Beast sect. Why are you? City Lord Song tried to use the Thousand Beast sect's name to suppress the housemaster of Beast Demon Abode. Don't talk to me about this. Even if God himself were here today, I would still kill him without hesitation. Xia Hao, hurry up and make your choice. I choose your grandpa. The smile on Yi Hao's face suddenly disappeared. He released the white dragon elephant and jumped onto its back. Chop this beast to death. Seeing the white dragon elephant's massive body, the housemaster of Beast Demon Abode was shocked. However, he quickly regained his senses and ordered his subordinates. Housemaster, you can't cut it. Dozens of martial king experts surrounded the white dragon elephant and kept attacking its legs. Their blades collided with the white dragon elephant's scales, emitting the sound of metal clashing. However, They couldn't hurt the white dragon elephant in the slightest. Yi Hao sat on the white dragon elephant and ordered the white dragon elephant, "Little White, stomp these bastards to death." Upon receiving Yi Hao's order, the white dragon elephant raised its huge legs and stomped on the people attacking it. The arena couldn't withstand the attack and collapsed. Ding dong! Congratulations to the host for killing a first-level martial king. Reward: 1,000 experience points. 1,000 soul points. Ding dong! Congratulations to the host for killing a third-level martial king. Reward: 3,000 experience points. 3,000 soul points. Not good. Run. The white dragon elephant could stomp 2 to 3 martial kings into meat paste with a single stomp. The remaining guards panicked and fled in all directions. Little White, stomp them to death. Don't let a single one of them go. Hearing the notification in his mind, Yi Hao shouted excitedly. The housemaster of Beast Demon Abode had brought nearly 100 guards with him. As long as he stomped them all to death, he would gain at least a few 100,000 experience points. Oh my God, this is too terrifying. Those guards are all martial kings. That's right. When did a white elephant become so ferocious? Is this an ancient beast? Is this a demonic beast at the peak of the 4th level? The crowd watched as the guards of Beast Demon Abode died one by one under the feet of the white dragon elephant like powerless babies. They couldn't resist at all. Stop! Suddenly, a demonic beast flew over from the distance, and a roar came from it. Chapter 2:25. Big Brother, I'm here. Come and save me. Hearing the voice in the air, Master Zhou was overjoyed and quickly shouted, "Little thief, stop! I'll leave your corpse intact." A shout came from the Class 6 Wind Thunderbird. The Wind Thunderbird stretched out its sharp claws and grabbed at Yi Hao. Yi Hao was shocked and quickly jumped down from the white dragon elephant. At the same time, he released Black Whirlwind Li Kuei while no one was paying attention. "Traitor, how dare you hurt my master? You're courting death." Li Kuei saw the Wind Thunderbird attack Yi Hao and threw an axe at Elder Zhou, who was on the Wind Thunderbird, a martial venerable expert. Elder Zhou was shocked. In order to dodge the axe, he jumped down from the Wind Thunderbird. The flying axe was like a small mountain. It hit the Wind Thunderbird's body, and the Wind Thunderbird cried out in pain. "Li Kuei, kill that old thing for me. Xiao Bai, hold that bird back for me." The Wind Thunderbird was a Class 6 magical beast, so Yi Hao was also envious. Although the white dragon elephant was powerful, it was still a peak Class 4 magical beast. It was quite strenuous for it to fight against a Class 6 Wind Thunderbird. Fortunately, the Wind Thunderbird had been attacked by Li Kuei and had not reacted until now. The Wind Thunderbird was held back by the white dragon elephant. The white dragon elephant's nose kept twitching, but it could not attack the Wind Thunderbird. The Wind Thunderbird also did not dare to approach the white dragon elephant. "Sir, I'm an elder of the Beast Monster sect. My name is Jolie. Don't attack first." Although Jolie was good at alchemy, he was only in the martial spirit realm. He had relied on pills to raise his cultivation. Now that the Wind Thunderbird was held back, he was definitely not a match for Li Kuei. He quickly wanted to use his sect to hold Li Kuei back. "What bullshit, Beast Monster House? How dare you hurt my master? You're courting death." After receiving Yi Hao's orders, Li Kuei naturally would not be intimidated by Zhou Li's words. Li Kuei held his axe and slashed at Zhou Li. Zhou Li did not expect that even if he revealed his sect, he would not be able to stop Li Kuei. He hurriedly blocked with his weapon. Bang! Zhou Li's spirit weapon was like a thin piece of paper in front of Li Kuei's attack. It was easily torn apart. Zhou Li was directly torn in half by Li Kuei's broad axe. "Brother!" Temple Head Zhou cried out in pain. He had not expected that his brother would be killed so easily. Ding dong! Congratulations to host for killing a third-level martial spirit, obtaining 30,000 experience points, obtaining 30,000 soul points, obtaining a purple-red wind Thunderbird Jade Tablet, obtaining 100 third-level magical beast pills, 100 4th-level magical beast pills, 100 5th-level magical beast pills, and 1,000 6th-level magical beast pills. After Zhou died, the Wind Thunderbird automatically disappeared and reappeared in the purple-red jade token. Li Kuei, kill these people. Yi Hao ordered Li Kuei as he pointed at the remaining temple head of Zhou and the group of frightened guards. Li Kuei's strength of a first-level martial venerable suppressed temple head Zhou to the point that he could not breathe. He could only stand there helplessly and let Li Kuei slaughter him. Ding dong, congratulations to host for killing a third-level martial king. Obtaining 3,000 experience points, obtaining 3,000 soul points. Ding dong, congratulations to host for completing the mission. Ding dong, congratulations to host for obtaining a mission gift pack. Congratulations to host for obtaining 100 favorability from Emialian. Emialian will never betray the host. Host has obtained 1 million experience points. Host has obtained 1 million resurrection points. As soon as Li Kuei killed the temple head of the Beast Demon Temple, the system notification sounded. Following that, Yi Hao's realm increased by another 2 levels, reaching the 6th level Martial King. How terrifying was it to increase 2 levels in a day? In the Myriad Kingdom continent, it would be a monstrous existence, but Yi Hao did it so easily. Who is this Xia Hao? He doesn't even put the Beast Demon Temple in his eyes. He killed the elders and temple head of the Beast Demon Temple. TCH, didn't you see Xia Hao's guards? They're martial venerables. Maybe the power behind them isn't any worse than the Beast Demon Temple. No matter what, the Beast Demon Temple won't sit back and do nothing. Beast King City is going to be in chaos. Seeing Li Kuei, everyone thought that Li Kuei was Yi Hao's guard. Only now do they understand why Yi Hao dared to challenge the elders of the Thousand Beast sect. From now on, Beast King City will only have the Beast King Pavilion. No more Beast Demon Temple. Li Kuei, follow Miss E to take over the Beast Demon Temple. Kill those who resist. Yi Hao put away the white dragon, giant elephant, and announced loudly to the sky. Yes. Li Kuei walked to Emialian's side. Miss E, please lead the way. Okay. Emialian felt that her heart was about to jump out. She didn't expect Yi Hao's followers to be martial venerables. A martial venerables was actually so respectful to her. City Lord Song, please send some people to protect Miss E. I have something to take care of. Yi Hao was still a little worried and said politely to City Lord Song. Okay, go ahead. City Lord Song was clearly still in a daze. He didn't expect that there would be a martial venerables hiding in the dark without him noticing. City Lord Song couldn't help but break out in a cold sweat. Fortunately, he didn't do anything bad. Otherwise, he didn't know if he would be able to survive until now. There's more. How is this possible? Xie Chunyu had her cultivation sealed by Guan Yu, so she naturally had a deep impression of him. She could clearly see that Li Kuei and Guan Yu were not the same person. An emperor of a duchy having 2 martial venerables by his side. How could this not be heaven-defying? Xie Chunyu couldn't believe what she was seeing. Thinking about how she had always wanted to use Yi Hao, Xie Chunyu couldn't help but gulp. How terrifying her thoughts were. Although she had the purple spiritual umbrella and wasn't afraid of martial venerables, it didn't mean that the purple spiritual umbrella was omnipotent. Where's he going? He can't be thinking of breaking the contract, right? Seeing Yi Hao summon the Thunderbird, Xie Chunyu couldn't help but feel anxious. However, she didn't dare to stop him. Yi Hao put away the corpse of the Beast Demon Lodge Master and the corpses of the Beast Demon Lodge guards, including Zhou Li, who was split in half. Thunderbird, it's time for you to perform. Now, you should redeem yourself. Fly to the Beast Demon Lodge for me. Yi Hao transmitted his voice to the Thunderbird. The Thunderbird's medium jade token was in Yi Hao's hands. Now that the purple-red medium jade token had changed hands, Yi Hao naturally became the person in the Thunderbird's heart. Hearing Yi Hao's instructions, the Thunderbird naturally wanted to perform well in front of its new master. With a long cry, it flew in the direction of the Beast Demon sect. Yi Hao originally wanted to slowly develop the Beast King Pavilion, but he felt that this development was too slow. When would he be able to achieve his goal of unifying the world? Therefore, Yi Hao changed his mind. He wanted to take the Beast Demon Lodge for his own use. That would undoubtedly save him a lot of time. If they had to blame someone, they could only blame their bad luck for provoking him. Furthermore, Zhou, who wasn't even a martial spirit, could become an elder of the Beast Demon Sect. Yihao believed that the Beast Demon Sect shouldn't have any experts. Chapter 226. If he wanted to create a magical beast army, he would also need a large amount of elixirs. If he wanted to exchange for them, it would undoubtedly be a shocking amount of soul points. But as long as he controlled the Beast Monster Sect, he would undoubtedly save a large amount of resources. And no matter what it was, he would need funds. Refining magical beast egg medicine was also a large amount of income. It would also be of great help to him. Moreover, he had promised to help Emelian to open the Beast King Pavilion all over the 10,000 countries continent. After flying for a few hours, Yihao finally saw a huge mountain. It was a few thousand feet tall, and he could see his sect from afar. Beast Monster Sect, what a grand style. Yihao looked at the huge gate at the foot of the mountain. There were 3 ancient words engraved on it. System, help me open the gift package. Yihao stopped in the air and didn't rush down as he said to the system. Ding dong, congratulations to the host for obtaining 1,000 mind control pills. Mind control pill, what is this? When Yihao heard that the system only gave him one thing, he couldn't help but feel a little disappointed. He took out a mind control pill and looked at the information on it. He was instantly excited. Mind control pill can control warriors of the same level. The controlled warriors will be 100% loyal and cannot be used beyond their level. This pill is simply too heaven-defying. Yihao was so shocked that he couldn't speak. This system was simply sending him a big bed when he was sleepy. At first, he was a little distressed in order to control the Beast Monster Sect. After all, he couldn't stay in the Beast Monster Sect forever. But now that he had the mind control pill, those problems were solved. Wusong, these pills are for you. Recognize them as your master first. Yihao sent the mind control pill into the Dragon Prison Lake and said to Wusong, although these mind control pills were heaven-defying, they couldn't be used beyond their level. The experts of the Beast Monster Sect definitely wouldn't be lower than him. Even if he used the mind control pill, it would be useless, but he could give the pills to Wusong. Anyway, Wusong wouldn't betray him. As long as Wusong controlled the experts of the Beast Monster Sect, it was the same as him controlling them. Wusong received the pill from Yihao. Although he didn't understand what it was, he immediately listened to Yihao and infused his spiritual energy into the pill. All right, Thunderbird, go down, Yihao said to the Thunderbird. Seeing the appearance of the Wind Thunderbird, the guards below took a glance and shouted respectfully, Elder Zhou is back. That damned Beast King Pavilion should be destroyed. I'll kill you, Grandpa. Hearing the guard's words, Yihao was infuriated. Call your sect leader and elders out. You're not Elder Zhou? Young man, who are you? Where's our Elder Zhou? The guards below heard Yihao's voice and questioned him as if they were facing a formidable enemy. I don't want to talk nonsense with you. If you don't want to die, call your sect leader out. Yihao didn't even bother to respond to the group of Wu Ho realm guards. Young man, you're courting death. Do you think you can meet our sect leader just because you want it? The guards below were instantly annoyed. Since when was there someone so daring to speak to the Beast Monster Sect like this? Roar! The Thunderbird roared and stared at everyone. Ah, retreat. Hearing the Thunderbird's voice, the group of guards instantly lost their confidence and quickly retreated. You, wait here. I'll go and report to the sect leader. The guard shouted in panic and quickly ran into the sect. Young man, be honest. We're afraid of your bird, but we're not afraid of you. The remaining guards pretended to be calm and said, Afraid of my bird. Yihao subconsciously lowered his head and looked at his crotch. Then his head was filled with black lines. Who are you? How dare you be so presumptuous in my Beast Monster Sect? Suddenly, the bell of the Beast Monster Sect rang, and everyone gathered at the sect. Suddenly, several martial spirits flew out from the sky. Among them, there were 3 martial sovereigns. The leader was a middle-aged man in green clothes. The middle-aged man stood in the sky and stared at Yihao as he questioned loudly. I'm from the Beast King Pavilion. I'm here to give you a big gift. Yi Hao also stood up from the Thunderbird. Yi Hao could clearly feel the Thunderbird. When he saw the middle-aged man leading the group, his body actually trembled in fear. Useless trash. Sooner or later, I'll roast and eat you. Yi Hao scolded in a low voice. The Thunderbird immediately shivered. Beast King Pavilion? The middle-aged man clearly didn't know what was going on with the Beast King Pavilion. A martial sovereign beside him quickly transmitted his voice to him. After hearing this, the middle-aged man instantly laughed. Young man, you have guts. You actually dare to open a shop in my Beast Monster Sect's territory and even dare to come to my Beast Monster Sect alone. I'd like to see what kind of gift you can give me. Young man, what did you do to my disciple? Why are you riding my disciple's demonic beast? One of the martial sovereigns stared at the Thunderbird for a while and asked with a gloomy face. Your disciple is here. Yi Hao sneered. Suddenly, hundreds of corpses fell from the sky and landed in front of everyone. How's this gift? You actually killed my Beast Monster Sect's disciple? One of the martial sovereigns looked at the corpses on the ground, and his voice was filled with disbelief. Is your brain damaged? Can't you see? Yi Hao glanced at the martial sovereign with disdain. He really didn't know how someone with such intelligence could cultivate to the martial sovereign realm. Where are the disciples of the martial hall? The martial sovereign was also confused from anger. He quickly recovered and shouted coldly. Here! Thousands of disciples of the martial hall shouted in unison and quickly took out their weapons. They stared at Yi Hao and waited. As long as the order was given, they would kill Yi Hao. Kill him. That martial sovereign was the great elder of the Beast Monster House. Now that his disciple was killed, he was naturally furious. He pointed at Yi Hao and shouted, Kill! Thousands of disciples of the martial hall charged at Yi Hao. Their shouts shook the sky. All the elders had cold expressions as they stood in the air. They were the Beast Monster Sect. Although their fighting strength wasn't the strongest because they were an alchemy sect, the other factions had to respect them. The Beast Monster Sect was the overlord of 1,000 miles. When had they ever been humiliated like this? And it was by a young man who hadn't even grown his hair yet. These are all experience points. To be honest, Yi Hao really wanted to go down and kill them all. With so many people, how much experience and soul points would that be? But Yi Hao knew his goal. He was here to subdue the Beast Monster House and not to kill. Let me see who dares to move. Yi Hao shouted and summoned Wu Song at the same time. The moment Wu Song came out, he released his aura. Instantly, none of the disciples of the martial hall dared to go forward. Disciples, back down. Elders, follow me to kill the enemy. The Beast Monster Sect's patriarch knew that they didn't come with good intentions and said in a deep voice, Protect the sect. Kill. All the elders of the martial spirit realm and above shouted in unison. They all took out their weapons and charged at Wu Song. Master, back down. The aura of so many martial spirits and martial sovereigns was not something an ordinary person could withstand. Wu Song didn't forget to shout. Chapter 227. Wu Song, go easy on him. You have to leave him with a single breath. Yi Hao rode the wind Thunderbird into the air and didn't forget to remind him. The people below were all talents. No matter what, they would serve him in the future. Yi Hao's heart would ache if one of them died. Put it down. Seeing that Yi Hao was in danger, Wu Song didn't have any worries. Eat my killing rod. Wu Song raised a metal rod and smashed it at the head of the Beast Monster sect leader. Protect the sect leader. The rest of the elders shouted loudly and surrounded Wu Song together. Fall. Seeing the people surrounding him, Wu Song was delighted. The metal rod in his hand that was about to strike suddenly changed direction. Wu Song spun 360 degrees on the spot. The metal rod was like a part of Wu Song's body as it danced in different directions, dazzling everyone. Just as Wu Song finished speaking, there was a sound of impact. 5 elders were sent flying and fell to the ground. Ah, feels good. If only there was some wine. Looking at the elders who were sent flying, Wu Song laughed. Hearing Wu Song's words, Yi Hao immediately remembered how Wu Song killed the tiger. Although this was another life, the generals still retained their nature. Wu Song, this young emperor will give you wine. Yi Hao took out a bottle of white wine from the space and threw it to Wu Song. Thank you, Lord. Wu Song caught the bottle. Seeing the group of people surrounding him, but not daring to come up, Wu Song couldn't help but laugh. Wu Song placed a rod in front of him and opened the bottle. Gulp, gulp, gulp. He drank the entire bottle. Seeing Wu Song's expression, Yi Hao smiled and threw another bottle to Wu Song. Haha, Lord understands me. Wu Song smiled and took the bottle. Sect leader, Wang Chong looked at Wu Song and asked Sun Ba softly. Great elder, don't be in a hurry. Let's see what he wants to do first. Sun Ba signaled Wang Chong not to be rash as he looked warily at Wu Song. The thousands of people from the beast monster sect just stood there and watched as Wu Song drank bottle after bottle of wine. Wu Song was already drunk, and even his eyes were starting to blur. Burp! Wu Song suddenly burped and fell to the ground, snoring loudly. Attack! Sun Ba waited for a long time until Wu Song started snoring. He immediately waved his left hand, indicating for the elders to charge forward. Holy sh*T, don't tell me he's really drunk. Yi Hao sat on the Thunderbird and looked at Wu Song with uncertainty. Sun Ba led the elders over slowly, afraid that they would wake Wu Song up. Even when everyone was less than a meter away from Wu Song seemed to be really drunk. He still didn't notice anything. Everyone looked at Sun Ba. As long as Sun Ba gave the order, all the swords and sabers would chop Wu Song into pieces. Kill! Sun Ba shouted. He took the lead and stabbed his spear towards Wu Song's head. All the other elders also attacked Wu Song's vitals. Come, have a drink with me. Just as Sun Ba's spear was about to land on Wu Song's head, Wu Song suddenly dodged. He followed Sun Ba's spear and blocked Sun Ba. Sect leader! Everyone was shocked and looked at Wu Song. They didn't understand how the sect leader ended up in Wu Song's hands. What a good method. Speak, what request do you have? Sun Ba knew that he was tricked after falling into Wu Song's hands. He helplessly tossed his spear aside and asked, I think you asked the wrong person. Your life isn't in my hands. Wu Song smiled and said. Sun Ba raised his head helplessly and looked at Yi Hao, who was on the Wind Thunderbird. He asked in dissatisfaction, I wonder what conditions this young master has. Speak. 2 choices. One is for the entire sect to be wiped out, and the other is for me to use. Yi Hao raised 2 fingers and said, Kid, what arrogance. When Wang Chong heard Yi Hao's words, he was furious. Haha, that's easy. Isn't it just relying on you? We are willing. Sun Ba's expression changed, and he suddenly smiled. Sect leader, no. Sect leader, we won't submit. Sect leader, let's fight it out with him. We don't know who will live and who will die. When all the elders heard Sun Ba's words, they all tried to persuade him. Sun Ba didn't know what to say. He glanced at the elders, and everyone instantly understood. Sun Ba wanted to pretend to join them, but he wasn't serious. Everyone immediately shut their mouths. Do you really think I am a fool? Yi Hao smiled and nodded. He suddenly looked at Sun Ba with a mocking expression. Sun Ba's expression turned ugly, and he became firm. Beast Monster Sect will rather die than submit. If you have the ability, then kill me. Okay, I don't like your Beast Monster Sect. Since you're like this, then don't blame me. Yi Hao said softly. He didn't seem to care at all. Aren't you just a grandmaster? If you can't do it, then fight to the death. Sun Ba scoffed coldly and said solemnly. How interesting. Do you think my family will send me a subordinate? Yi Hao suddenly turned and said respectfully, Dragon Saint, there is someone here who wants to fight against me. Kid, don't try to act mysterious. Dragon Saint, why don't you say Dragon God? Wang Chong didn't care about Yi Hao's actions and thought that Yi Hao was just acting. In the 10,000 country continent, dragons were one of the top races. Why would they be the bodyguard of Teen? They definitely wouldn't appear in such a small place. Roar, I know. The moment Wang Chong's body landed, a dragon roar could be heard, following which an old and mysterious voice could be heard. The dragon roar caused all the demonic beasts within 100 miles of the beast monster sect to kneel on the ground. Some of the weaker demonic beasts were so frightened that their guts were shattered. It's a dragon. It really is a dragon. Wang Chang's face was no longer calm as he looked around warily. Kid, the great dragon saint is not someone you can insult. As long as the young emperor gives the order, I will eat you. The giant dragon's voice came from all around. I'm asking all of you, are you going to surrender or not? Yi Hao stood on the Wind Thunderbird and looked down on all the people of the Beast Monster sect. At this moment, all the disciples of the Beast Monster sect, except for the elders, were kneeling on the ground and looking at Yi Hao in worship. The teen in front of them had the Dragon Saint as his bodyguard. If they could sell their lives for him, that would be the fortune of several lifetimes. All the disciples thought in their hearts. Sect leader, do you think it is true? Wang Chong asked uncertainly, but in his heart he was 70 to 80% convinced. Chapter 228. Then, sect leader, do we surrender? Everyone from Beast Monster sect was frightened. If they had the confidence to fight to the death, it was because they still had a chance to survive if they went all out against Wu Song. But now that there was a dragon saint hiding in the dark, they didn't have the confidence to fight back. Sun Ba could tell that Wang Chang's tone wasn't as tough as before. Those elders looked at him, and the meaning in their hearts was obvious. They want to surrender. Hey, we surrender. The moment Sun Ba said that, his body relaxed like a huge burden had been removed from his body. Okay, in order to show your loyalty, take these pills. Yi Hao gestured to Wu Song. Wu Song immediately took out the mind control pill. Don't go too far. Wang Chong pointed at Yi Hao in rage. There was an indescribable rage in his heart. Although they didn't know what pill it was, it definitely wasn't a good one. They didn't want to become Yi Hao's hard work. Give it to me, I will eat it. Sun Ba seemed to have seen through everything and said to Wu Song. This was because he had no other choice. He knew that he wanted to live, and since he wanted to live, he had to listen to Yi Hao's arrangements. Since he had already made up his mind, he might as well accept it. Life and death were all up to him. He might as well leave a good impression on Yi Hao. Sect leader, Wang Chong was still a little unwilling, but Sun Ba swallowed the pill without hesitation. He looked at Yi Hao and said, I hope that you keep your promise and don't humiliate me too much. Otherwise, even if I die, I won't be controlled by you. Ding dong, congratulations on recruiting Sun Ba. Level, 2 Martial Sovereign, Grade 6 Alchemist. Identity, Sect Leader of Beast Monster Sect. Loyalty, 100. Ding dong, congratulations on recruiting and Martial Sovereign. Reward, 100,000 experience. Reward, 100,000 revival points. Don't worry, you can do whatever you want in the future. As long as you develop the sect and refine pills for me, it will be fine. Yi Hao did not expect that he would be able to obtain resurrection points and experience by subduing Sun Ba. Naturally, he was very happy. Moreover, Sun Ba's alchemy realm had also exceeded his expectations. He originally thought that Sun Ba was at most a rank 5 alchemist, but he did not expect that he was actually a rank 6 alchemist. All of a sudden, it helped him save a lot of soul points and revival points. His decision to recruit Beast Monster Sect was a wise one. Thank you, my lord. I hope that you will keep your promise, Sun Ba said as he knelt on one knee. Wang Chong worriedly looked at Sun Ba and worriedly asked, Sect Master, do you have any adverse reactions? Hearing Wang Chong's question, Sun Ba hurriedly closed his eyes and inspected his body. However, when his martial arts energy flowed through his organs, he found nothing strange. Strange. Sun Ba frowned, puzzled. Sect Master, what's wrong? All the elders looked at Sun Ba closely and asked in unison. Master, why don't I feel anything? Sun Ba asked Yi Hao in confusion. Yi Hao smiled faintly and said, You are thinking in your heart that you want to kill me. I don't dare. Hurry up. Yes. It hurts. My lord, please spare me. I won't dare to do it again. Just as Sun Ba had the thought of killing Yi Hao, he felt as though his entire body had fallen into a nest of thousands of ants, tearing at his organs. It made him unable to live or die. Sun Ba knelt on the ground and kowtowed until his scalp was bleeding. As long as you don't move, you'll be fine. Otherwise, this is just an appetizer. Although Yi Hao knew that the mind control pill was powerful, he did not expect it to be so powerful that it could make a martial, honorable sufferer. One could imagine how powerful the mind control pill was. When Sun Ba heard Yi Hao's voice, he hurriedly expelled all the disrespectful thoughts towards Yi Hao. The torment on his body immediately disappeared. "Thank you, my lord." Sun Ba panted heavily and knelt on the ground. "My lord, why do I feel that my cultivation is loosening? Furthermore, my alchemy has improved." Sun Ba suddenly asked in confusion. "Are you sure, sect head? You just broke through not long ago. How can you break through so quickly?" Wang Chong asked in disbelief. Sun Ba said in delight, "It is true. Could it be that pill?" Wang Chong was a little suspicious. Yi Hao also did not understand, but most of it was the system's doing. Yi Hao immediately asked, "System, what is going on?" "This is the hidden benefit of the mind control pill. Your servant's aptitude can't be too bad. The more loyal they are to you, the more the mind control pill can change their aptitude." The system replied coldly, "There is such a huge benefit. Why didn't you say so earlier?" Hearing the system's words, Yi Hao was overjoyed. The most important thing in a person's cultivation was hard work, as well as opportunities. Above all of these was a person's aptitude. There is almost no pill that could change one's aptitude in the 10,000 countries continent. Otherwise, there wouldn't be so few experts. Yet, the mind control pill had such a powerful effect. How could Yi Hao not be happy? And this is just a small effect of this pill. As long as you are loyal to me, this pill can change your aptitude. Since Yi Hao knew the effect of the mind control pill, he naturally didn't mind saying it. This way, more people would be willing to eat the mind control pill. "It is indeed like this." Sun Ba revealed an excited expression. "I think that my lord's family must have a top alchemist on the continent. For my lord to take a fancy to our beast monster sect, it is our beast monster sect fortune." In Sun Ba's knowledge, such a heaven-defying pill could only be refined by a god-tier alchemist. A god-tier alchemist was an existence that he couldn't touch. Now that he could become Yi Hao's subordinate, he might be able to get some guidance from that god-tier alchemist one day. "Sect leader, are you lying to us? It can really change one's aptitude." Wang Chong was also tempted, but he was worried that Sun Ba was trying to drag him down, so he purposely lied. "Why would I lie to you? I can't take it anymore. I'm going to have a breakthrough. The things that I didn't understand before, I have figured it all out now." Sun Ba suddenly sat on the ground anxiously. The excitement on his face was self-evident. Quickly, protect the sect leader. One had to say that Wang Chong was still very loyal to Sun Ba. At this moment, he was still thinking for Sun Ba. As the head elder of the beast monster sect, Wang Chong's deterrence was still very strong. Under Wang Chong's order, everyone sat around Sun Ba and transmitted their martial arts to him. Boom! Chapter 229. Sectmaster, how do you feel? Wang Chong quickly helped Sun Ba up and asked. "I've broken through." Sun Ba immediately retracted his aura and said with a smile, "Are you really that powerful?" Sun Ba's aura couldn't be wrong. Wang Chong and the other elders were also a little shaken. "Elders, let's surrender. My cultivation can't be faked. It's our fortune to be able to follow His Highness." Sun Ba began to break down the crowd's mentality and spoke up for Yi Hao. "First elder." Now that Sun Ba was Yi Hao's man, all the elders treated Wang Chong as their backbone. Everyone looked at Wang Chong. "Since Sect Master has surrendered, why are we still holding on? Everyone, let's surrender." Wang Chong's gaze wandered around the crowd, and he suddenly sighed. Wang Chong led all the elders and said in unison to Yi Hao, "Master, we are willing to surrender. Please treat us well." Yi Hao nodded and signaled to Wu Song at the same time. Wu Song immediately understood and took out a dozen mind control pills and gave them to all the elders. Ding dong, congratulations to host for subduing Wang Chong. Level 1 Martial Saint. Rank 5 Pill Master. Identity Beast Monster Sect's First Elder. Loyalty 100. Ding dong, congratulations to host for subduing a Martial Saint expert. Reward 80,000 experience points. Reward: 80,000 resurrection points. Ding dong, congratulations to host for subduing Wu Di. Level 1 Martial Saint. Rank 5 Pill Master. Identity: Second Elder of Beast Monster Sect. Loyalty 100. Ding dong, congratulations to host for subduing a Martial Saint expert. Reward: 60,000 experience points. Reward: 60,000 resurrection points. Ding dong, congratulations to host for filling up the experience slot. Host's current level, 7 Martial King. All the elders ate the mind control pills. The notifications in Yi Hao's mind kept on ringing, and he directly leveled up. Master, why did you suddenly break through while we were talking? Yi Hao's sudden breakthrough naturally attracted everyone's attention. Everyone looked at Yi Hao in confusion. After all, if anyone wanted to break through, they would have to meditate and prepare. Just now, Sun Ba had broken through with many elders protecting him. That was why Sun Ba had been able to break through so smoothly. As for Yi Hao, he had stood on the Zephyr Bird and broken through without doing anything. Is it really that easy to break through? Everyone started to doubt their lives at this moment. Yi Hao originally thought that since all the elders had taken a mind-controlling pill, his experience should be about the same. Who knew that the next notification would ring out in his mind like a tsunami? There were tens of thousands of disciples below. Just the Martial Hall disciples numbered in the thousands. At this moment, all the elders and the sect master had surrendered. Therefore, the hearts of the disciples began to crumble. They all submitted to Yi Hao from the bottom of their hearts. Ding dong, congratulations to the host for subduing Li Xiaosan. Level: 2nd level Martial King, 3rd level Alchemist. Identity: Beast Monster Sect Disciple. Loyalty: 79. Ding dong, congratulations to the host for subduing a Martial King expert. The reward is 200 experience points and 200 resurrection points. Ding dong, congratulations to the host for subduing Wang Wu. Level: 1st level Martial Warrior, 4th level Alchemist. Identity: Beast Monster Sect Disciple. Loyalty: 100. Ding dong, congratulations to the host for subduing a 4th level Alchemist. The reward is 200 experience points and 200 resurrection points. Boom! Suddenly, Yi Hao broke through another level and reached 8th level Martial King. Oh my god, does he have to be so overpowered? I have been at 4th level Martial King for almost a year now. How'd the Lord do it? When all the disciples saw how easily Yi Hao had broken through, they all went crazy. This caused even more disciples to become loyal to Yi Hao. The Lord must be a martial arts genius. No, he is simply a monster. Sun Ba and Wang Chong looked at each other. They both had the urge to kill themselves. Boom! After a while, just as the disciples were about to stop talking, Yi Hao broke through another level and reached 9th level Martial King. Awesome! At this moment, Yi Hao had no other words to describe his heart. In just a short while, he had broken through 3 levels. But at the same time, the notifications in Yi Hao's mind gradually lessened. Hurry up, give me more. I want to break through to 10th level Martial King. Sigh, finally, the notifications in Yi Hao's mind disappeared. Yi Hao sighed because the experience points did not allow him to break through to 10th level. He glanced at his experience bar. He was less than 100,000 experience points away from breaking through. However, this unexpected gain was already enough to satisfy him. Yi Hao looked at his resurrection points. Suddenly, Yi Hao was shocked and asked in disbelief, "System, are you sure there are so many resurrection points?" At the start, he only had 1 million resurrection points. Those were for the people who had destroyed the Beast Monster Lodge. But now, Yi Hao saw that his resurrection points had broken through the 3 million mark. As long as he had another 1 million resurrection points, he would be able to save up to 5 million resurrection points. At that time, he would be able to summon an expert like Emperor Wu. What's with your expressions? Yi Hao put away his excitement and looked at the people below. Their mouths were slightly open as they stared at him blankly. Pervert. Everyone softly spat out these 2 words. Sun Ba looked at the disciples and said respectfully to Yi Hao, Lord, let's return to the sect first. This is not a place to talk. Okay, lead the way. Yao nodded. He had some things to ask Sunba. Farewell, Lord. All the disciples kneeled on the ground and shouted in unison. At the highest peak of the Beast Monster sect, within the Beast Monster Hall, a 14-year-old youth was lazily sitting on the sect master's throne. The many famous elders of the Beast Monster sect were all standing below and looking respectfully at the youth on the throne. Lord, I disdain that my traitorous disciple caused trouble for you. It is my fault for not teaching him well. Please punish me. Wang Chong had consumed the mind-controlling pill, and the resentment he had for Yi Hao was naturally swept away as he knelt on the ground and spoke. Wang Chong, get up. This matter isn't your fault. Just treat it as the past. Yi Hao didn't want to pursue this matter any further. After all, he had already killed the person. Thank you, Lord, for not pursuing this matter. Wang Chong heaved a sigh of relief when he heard Yi Hao's words. He was really afraid that Yi Hao would be estranged from him because of the matter with the Zhou brothers. At that time, Yi Hao would come to find trouble with him. Thus, Wang Chong started to think of a solution on the way. When he reached the hall, before anyone could say anything, Wang Chong knelt down and asked for forgiveness. Luckily, Yi Hao didn't pursue this matter, and he was extremely grateful. Sunba, I want to know what level of power the Beast Monster sect is. Yi Hao wasn't too sure about the level of the Beast Monster sect and asked Sunba, why? Do you have something that you can't say? Seeing Sun Ba's hesitation, Yi Hao frowned and coldly asked, I don't dare. Sun Ba quickly knelt on the ground and sighed, Lord, you don't know. Chapter 230. In the beginning, our sect wasn't called Beast Monster Sect. We were a branch of Pill Sect, and Pill Sect was an emperor-level power. After Sun Ba said that, Yi Hao understood. In the past, Pill Sect refined two types of pills for humans and pills for demon beasts. Pill Sect was split into Spirit Pill Hall and Beast Monster Hall. But for some reason, the two halls split. Spirit Pill Hall changed its name to Spirit Pill Sect and still occupied the land it used to occupy. Beast Monster Hall lost and had no choice but to move and change its name to Beast Monster Sect. The split of the two halls naturally caused Pill Sect's grade to drop. At the start, they were still a supreme level power. But in the past 100 years, Beast Monster Sect became a spirit level power and was suppressed by 10,000 Beast Sect. Spirit Pill Sect was a little better, but they were still struggling and were on the verge of becoming a supreme level power. Do you know about Xietian? Yao nodded. As expected, no matter how glorious a sect was, there would be bitterness in the dark. Xietian? All the elders looked at one another and didn't know who Yi Hao was talking about. Is Xietian from the Thousand Beasts sect? Sun Ba was the sect leader of Beast Monster sect, so how'd he know more than his subordinates? He probed and asked. That's right, it's him. The Xietian that Yi Hao was talking about was Xie Chunyu's father. If he could get some information from Sun Ba, he wouldn't have to go to 10,000 Beast sect. How does Master know him? Sun Ba looked at Yi Hao in confusion. You don't need to know about this. Just tell me how he died. Yi Hao was too lazy to explain to Sun Ba and asked directly. Sun Ba revealed a look of reminiscence and said, This Xietian was the hall master of the martial hall of the Thousand Beast sect. Later, I heard that he was personally killed by his favorite disciple, Yuan Guopeng. This is a disgrace to the Thousand Beast sect. The Thousand Beast sect has long since sealed off the news. Yuan Guopeng? Yi Hao muttered. He knew that this Yuan Guopeng should be Xie Chunyu Sr., but Yi Hao knew that this matter was definitely not that simple. If it was so easy for him to find the answer, the system wouldn't have given him 10 million experience points. However, it seemed that he had to start with Yuan Guopeng to find a breakthrough in this matter. Looks like I really have to make a trip to the Thousand Beast sect. Master, you're leaving? Hearing Yi Hao's words, Sun Ba hurriedly asked with a hint of reluctance on his face. Okay, Yi Hao said softly. Then Master, what about our Beast Monster sect? As the sect leader of Beast Monster sect, Sun Ba was naturally unwilling to see Beast Monster sect fall. However, he saw hope from Yi Hao. For Yi Hao to be able to take out such a heaven-defying pill like the mind control pill, he had the help of the dragon sage in secret. If Yi Hao helped Beast Monster Sect, then it wouldn't be difficult for Beast Monster Sect to rise. Also, Sunba looked embarrassed. What's the matter? Just say it. Yi Hao looked at Sunba stuttering and immediately asked, Master, if our Beast Monster Sect and Spirit Pill Sect are separated again, the two sects will definitely be swallowed up, so we made a bet. Sunba's expression was a little ugly, afraid that he would vent his anger on Yi Hao. Master, this matter isn't the sect leader's fault. We had no choice but to do this. We also don't want to see Pill Sect destroyed in our hands. Wang Chong hurriedly stood up and spoke up for Sunba. This young emperor isn't blaming you. You've all confused me. Can you explain it clearly? Yi Hao said with a chuckle. It turned out that Pill Sect had been separated for thousands of years. Whether it was Spirit Pill Sect or Beast Monster Sect, they were both suffering. Moreover, the two were clearly not on good terms. One had to fight internally while the other had to resist the devouring of external enemies. After all these years, one of the Emperor forces had become a spirit force, and the other was struggling on the edge of a venerable force. The sect leaders of the two sects knew that continuing like this wasn't a solution, so they wanted to merge the two sects once more. Originally, they had already discussed it, but if they really wanted to merge, there were a lot of problems. For example, who would be the sect leader and who would be the head elder? Once these problems were brought up, neither side was willing to accept the other, and the two sects parted on bad terms. But in recent years, this problem was brought up once more. This time, the two sects thought of a solution. That was to have a competition. The winner would swallow the loser. The opponents of the competition naturally wouldn't be the elders of the sections. That was because there was no need to compete to see who was stronger and who was weaker. The opponents of the competition would be chosen from the disciples, and they couldn't be over 20 years old. The content of the competition would be pill refining and martial arts. Although the Beast Monster Sect's upper echelons were weaker than Spirit Pill Sects, in terms of the strength of the disciples, the Beast Monster Sect wasn't afraid and immediately agreed. The time of the competition was set to be half a year later. Originally, the Beast Monster Sect had trained a dozen disciples, and they were all decent geniuses. The Beast Monster Sect was very confident about the competition. But who knew that at this crucial moment, the disciples that the Beast Monster Sect had trained for so many years would all be poached by Spirit Pill Sect in one night? The Beast Monster Sect couldn't say anything. They had already made an oath about the competition, so naturally, they couldn't go back on it. They wouldn't be instantly devoured by their martial arts power. At this time, it wasn't easy to train a dozen more disciples. Thus, the Beast Monster Sect took things one step at a time and was prepared to be swallowed. Ding dong, please find 10 disciples within half a year. Once the mission is completed, you can swallow Spirit Pill Sect, and there are unknown rewards. If the mission fails, the Beast Monster Sect will no longer belong to the host, and the heart control pill will lose its effect. The system is a little too much. Hearing the system's voice, Yi Hao was speechless. If the heart control pill lost its effect, then all his hard work would have been for nothing. But the rewards were also huge. No matter what, Spirit Pill Sect was a golden chicken. No matter how bad it was still an exalted level power. It was much stronger than the Beast Monster Sect. Moreover, there were unknown rewards. But Yi Hao believed that the system's rewards wouldn't be too bad. Leave this matter to me. You guys continue as usual. Don't let anyone know that the Beast Monster Sect is in my hands. Yi Hao said, Don't worry, Master. This matter won't be spread. Sunba promised. But Master, there are 10 disciples. 5 must be alchemists, and 5 must be martial artists. Spirit Pill Sect. How strong are the disciples that they can send out? Yi Hao asked. Spirit Pill Sect, geniuses under 20. One is called Tian Ilu. She is a genius alchemist and is currently a rank 5 alchemist. The other is called Xiao Gongxiu. He is currently a rank 7 martial spirit. Sunba blurted out. It could be seen that the two of them were hanging on his chest, making it hard for him to eat and sleep. Chapter 231. It seems that our great sect master Sun has been troubled by these two people. Yihao looked at Sun Ba's worried face in amusement. Master, please don't cancel this subordinate's appointment. It's not just this subordinate. All of the elders are extremely vexed by this. Sun Ba smiled bitterly. Everyone shook their heads and sighed when they heard Sun Ba's words. All right, there's no need to care about this matter. In order to prepare for both sides, the Beast Demon Lodge will continue to operate in the future. However, I need you to send a group of people under Emialian's management. Open a Beast King Pavilion wherever the Beast Demon Lodge is located. Yihao said to everyone because Yihao realized that the Beast Demon sect didn't lack disciples, and he didn't need idle people. He wanted to use these disciples to create the greatest value. Yes, Master. Sun Ba was puzzled, but he still nodded in agreement. By the way, in the same city, the Beast King Pavilion must equip all the members of the Beast Demon Lodge and fully support the Beast King Pavilion. Remember, you must not leak the news. The disciples sent to the Beast King Pavilion must hide their identities. No matter what he did, Yihao had a habit of holding back. As long as both sides developed in a balanced manner, they would be able to compete with each other and stimulate their potential. Tell the disciples sent out that they will no longer belong to the Beast Demon sect and will become members of the Beast King Pavilion. As long as their monthly profits exceed the Beast Demon Lodge, they will be rewarded. Similarly, you must remind the disciples of the Beast Demon Lodge that they must not be surpassed by the Beast King Pavilion. Otherwise, the lodge master of each lodge will be punished and rewarded. As for you, pick out the talented disciples and use all your resources to develop them. The few of you will take turns personally. The rest of the time is only for cultivation. Yihao sat on the throne and listed out his plans one by one. Everyone could see that Yihao was making a big move. Master, what is your goal? Sun Ba suppressed the excitement in his heart and asked while looking at Yihao. Goal? Yihao smiled gently. The Lord of all kingdoms. What? Everyone was shocked, and none of them could say a word. The Lord of 10,000 kingdoms. Didn't that mean that Yihao's goal was to unify the 10,000 kingdoms continent? Most importantly, was this possible? In everyone's impression, the Myriad Land continent seemed to have been split from birth. In other words, the Myriad Kingdom continent had never been unified, and Yihao wanted to be the ruler of the Myriad Kingdom continent. Without a doubt, Yihao's goal was to unify the Myriad Kingdom continent. What's wrong? As people of the martial Dao, is this little goal enough to scare you? Then I think you should give up on the martial Dao. If you don't even have this little goal, then if you want to pursue immortality, break through the void. Yihao narrowed his eyes and glanced at his master. Everyone shuddered. They suddenly realized how big the gap was between them and Yihao. They were just frogs in a well. There were some things that he had already given up on pursuing. So how could he possibly become a saint or a god? They could only blame time. Unknowingly, the goals, pursuits, and beliefs they had when they were young had all been wiped away. Are all of you willing to follow me and strive for the top of the Myriad Kingdom continent? Yihao looked at the dazed crowd and slapped his throne, shouting loudly. Plop! Suddenly, everyone knelt on the ground. Their eyes shone with a light that had been wiped out for many years. They stood up and shouted, "We are willing to follow you, my lord. We will not hesitate to become the lord of 10,000 kingdoms." Very well. I bestow upon you the Fire Dragon Empire, the U division of the Ba division, collectively known as the Yin Yu division. Looking at the confused faces of the crowd, Yihao explained, "The Fire Dragon Empire is my empire. There are Ba divisions under the country, and they enjoy the supreme rights of the country. They are directly under me, and no one else has the right to control them." The Ba divisions were Heaven, Earth, Black, Yellow, Universe, 8 Desolates. Among them, the Yellow division has already appeared. You are the second division. Thank you, my lord, for bestowing the name. Long live my lord. After hearing Yihao's explanation, everyone still did not understand what those words meant. But with their intuition, they knew that once Yihao stabilized the 10,000 kingdoms continent, these words would be known throughout the 10,000 kingdoms continent. To be able to become one of the Ba divisions is a supreme honor. I hope that you will not disappoint me, Yi Hao said in a deep voice. We will not disappoint you, my lord. Everyone shouted in unison. Very well. I still have things to do. I will appear on time in half a year. Do what I have instructed you to do. Yi Hao walked out of the beast monster temple. His voice echoed in the temple, but he had already disappeared. Phew! Everyone felt that Yi Hao had disappeared. Only then did they let out a sigh of relief and stood up. First Patriarch, you will be responsible for what my lord has instructed you to do. Send those who are not talented enough, but have enough skill in alchemy, to the divisions under our jurisdiction. All the cities will be under Lady Yi's management. Second Patriarch, go and pick some disciples with combat experience to accompany those alchemy disciples. Fellow Patriarchs, accompany me in training the remaining disciples. We must not disappoint my lord, and we must not fall behind the other divisions. Yes, everyone obeyed Sun Ba's orders. Their eyes were burning with fighting spirit. Because they were personally promoted by Yi Hao to be part of the Ba divisions. They wanted to fight for the first place in the Ba divisions. They must not let down Yi Hao, so naturally they had to work hard. My lord, I will not disappoint you. Sun Ba walked to the entrance of the beast monster temple. He looked into the sky and clenched his fist. Dragon, let's go, Yi Hao said as he passed by a valley and saw the dragon lying on the grass. My lord, do you know that this job of pretending to be the dragon saint is not easy? The dragon said as he lowered his head, appearing to be extremely weak. His cultivation hadn't fully recovered. He had purposely released his dragon's might to scare Sun Ba. That had squeezed out all his strength. It's been hard on you. Don't worry, when I meet your enemies in the future, I will definitely take revenge for you. Yi Hao also knew that this matter was all thanks to the dragon. Otherwise, with just Wu Song, he wouldn't have been able to subdue the beast monster sect without injuring a single person. Although Wu Song was a peak martial honorable, he was much stronger than Sun Ba and the others. If Wu Song wanted to kill everyone, he might be able to do it. But if he wanted to subdue everyone, there wasn't much hope. Luckily, on the way here, Yi Hao had already thought of a plan. That was to let the dragon pretend to be the dragon saint to scare the beast monster sect people and make them swallow the mind control pill. This trip to the beast monster sect was undoubtedly a huge harvest. Just his cultivation realm alone had broken through 3 times, and he had reached the 9th stage martial king. He had also subdued the entire beast monster sect without any injuries. But thinking about finding 10 disciples to participate in the competition half a year later, Yi Hao couldn't help but have a headache. After all, it wasn't as simple as just finding 2 people. Finding 10 disciples wasn't the goal. The goal was to let them win the competition. Chapter 232. Let's talk about that later, but I, old dragon, am now. Obviously, Yi Hao's words were not what the dragon wanted. He quickly touched his stomach and gestured to Yi Hao. There are no magical beasts. I will roast you. Yi Hao rolled his eyes at the dragon. So this was what he was waiting for. The dragon revealed a treacherous smile and suddenly pushed out a few huge magical beasts from behind. Obviously, he had expected that Yi Hao would say that. I still have something to do. I will roast it for you when I have time. Seeing that the dragon had prepared everything and was just waiting for him to jump in, Yi Hao could not help but feel speechless and said to the dragon. It was fine if the dragon did not eat usually, but he only wanted to eat. That was simply a bottomless pit. Even if there was a small mountain of food, it would not be enough for him. Don't, Lord. I, old dragon, am begging you. Just roast 3 for me, no, just 2. The dragon said with a sad face. Seeing that Yi Hao still did not agree, he said, Lord, just 1. I, old dragon, did not use any credit, but I still worked hard. Yi Hao looked at the dragon and was speechless. Was this still the dragon of the high-level race in the world of 10,000 lands? Why did he even throw away his dignity for food? All right, you can start a fire and roast one. I still have a lot of things to do. Thinking of the dragon, who had done a lot for him, Yi Hao really could not refuse. The dragon quickly nodded, afraid that Yi Hao would go back on his words. Lord, you should rest for a while. The fire will be ready soon. The dragon quickly knocked down a few big trees and divided them into several sections. Then, he used the dragon flame and directly lit the wood. Put the magical beasts on top. Yihao wanted to let the dragon deal with the magical beasts, but looking at his anxious look, Yihao felt that there was no need to deal with them. Okay. The dragon picked up the magical beast with its mouth. Yihao had already set up the wooden frame and looked at Yihao pitifully. I really don't know where the dignity of the dragon clan has gone. Yihao shook his head with a smile and began to help roast the meat. The magical beast that the dragon brought overweighed several thousand pounds. It was several times larger than Yihao's body, but Yihao could easily lift it up with one hand. Yihao felt uncomfortable standing there, so he decided to stand on the dragon's body and start roasting the magical beast. Half an hour later, the skin of the demonic beast had already begun to turn brown. The aroma of the demonic meat was so tempting that the giant dragon was about to drool. Master, let me have a taste. Hurry up and let me have a taste. Seeing the huge demonic beast swaying in front of its eyes, the huge dragon could not resist the temptation and begged Yihao, "You are a dragon. Now that the test is almost over, eat it." Yihao shook his sore shoulders and ignored the dragon. He directly sent the dragon into the dragon prison lake. "This piece is yours. Hurry up and eat it. Let's go back to Beast King City." Yihao had already cut off half of the beast's leg and handed it to the Wind Thunderbird. At the same time, he did not forget to put all the magical beasts that the dragon collected into the space. Who asked the dragon to have a sharp mouth? The magical beasts that it killed were basically all rank 5 magical beasts. Eating them was also good for its body. Wait, there's someone. Yihao directly put away the Wind Thunderbird. After a moment, a head popped out from the grass. He looked around and saw that there was only Yihao, so he swaggered out. "Kid, you aren't from the beast monster sect, right?" The person who came was a 17 or 18-year-old youth. His face was dirty, and his clothes were only a few pieces of tattered animal skin. Panjie had been hunting with his father since he was young. But recently, his father had disappeared for some reason, so he came out to look for food. He smelled the fragrance of Yihao's barbecued meat and came over. Panjie sized up Yihao. Looking at the youth who was shorter than him, he pinched his waist and pretended to be confident as he asked, "No, what's wrong?" Yihao was also very curious. In this desolate mountain where high-ranked demonic beasts roamed, why would this youth in front of him appear here? Yihao sized up Panjie and found that there were no fluctuations of martial Dao energy on Panjie's body. Instead, there was something that made him feel uncomfortable. This youth is strange. He is definitely not an ordinary person. "Master, be careful." The weapon spirit reminded Yihao worriedly. Yihao replied in his mind, "Let me ask you, did you barbecue the meat just now?" When he heard that Yihao wasn't from the beast monster sect, Panjie relaxed. His father had taught him since he was young to stay far away from the beast monster sect disciples. He wasn't afraid of them at all, but he didn't dare to go against his father's words. "That's right. What's wrong?" Yihao also wanted to wait and see what Panjie was up to. "Then help me barbecue a piece of meat." Panjie touched his rumbling stomach and said to Yihao in a commanding tone. Yihao found it amusing. This teen was inexperienced, or was there something wrong with his brain? "Why should I barbecue meat for you? I only barbecue meat for my little brother." "Little brother?" Panjie frowned and thought about it. He revealed his white teeth and smiled. "Then, I will be your little brother. Now, you can barbecue meat for me." Yihao looked at the teen in front of him like there was something wrong with his brain. But Yihao saw that Panjie's white teeth were really sharp. They were similar to the teeth of a demon beast and not human teeth. Yihao shook his head. What a joke. Did he really think that he was a chef? "Why are you playing with me?" Panjie was a little angry. He gritted his teeth together and gave out an ear-piercing sound. "Why should I accept you as my little brother? I don't accept normal little brothers. My little brother has to have a skill." Yihao said softly, "A skill." Panjie thought for a moment and said with a smile, I can eat. I can eat a magic beast the size of a small mountain. Can this be considered a skill?" Indeed, it seems that my guess is not far from the truth. Yi Hao had a look of understanding. Even if he was a martial king, he would not be able to eat a small mountain of demon beasts, let alone an ordinary person. Yi Hao shook his head. No, other than this. This also doesn't count. Pan Jie scratched his head in distress and said unhappily, Are you playing with me? You have to know that I am very strong. Look at you. You don't look like a little brother. Then what is a little brother's job? A little brother has to obey his boss unconditionally. He has to do whatever his boss says. Look at you. How dare you threaten me? I promise that I will listen to you. You're my boss. You barbecue meat for me. Pan Jie scratched the back of his head and smiled at Yi Hao. There is no hurry. You said that you are very strong? Chapter 233. Hearing Pan Jie's words, Yi Hao immediately thought of the system that asked him to find 10 disciples. Spirit Pill Sex Xiao Gongxiu was a martial artist at the 7th level of the martial spirit realm. Among the youths under the age of 20, she was indeed a rare genius. If he wanted to win, Xiao Gongxiu was definitely the biggest obstacle, so he had to find someone whose strength exceeded the 7th level of the martial spirit realm. I'm stronger than the disciples of the beast monster sect. Pan Jie thought for a while and said, Really? Yi Hao didn't believe it. If it wasn't for the fact that he felt that Pan Jie was different, he wouldn't be willing to talk to him. But Pan Jie said that his strength was stronger than the disciples of the beast monster sect, which immediately attracted Yi Hao's interest. One must know that compared to a martial artist, the difference was like heaven and earth. The disciples of the beast monster sect, no matter how weak they were still martial artists and were stronger than ordinary people. You don't believe me? Seeing Yi Hao's look of disbelief, Pan Jie couldn't help but feel anxious. I must eat meat today. When Pan Jie heard Yi Hao's words, he didn't dare to be disrespectful to Yi Hao. If Yi Hao really didn't roast meat for him, then he would be in trouble. Pan Jie looked around and looked at the 1,000-meter tall tree in front of him. He smiled foolishly and ran to the side of the tree. Boss, look carefully. Pan Jie stood under the 1,000-meter tall tree like an ant. Yi Hao looked at Pan Jie standing under the tree and felt that it was funny. Could it be that this ordinary-looking youth could carry this 1,000-meter tall tree? Pan Jie couldn't carry the tree at all. He stretched out a hand and easily grabbed the tree. The tree was like tofu that was easily crushed by him. He is indeed not an ordinary person. Looking at Pan Jie, the power that exploded out was definitely not the power of an ordinary person. This tree had lived for hundreds of years and had absorbed the essence of heaven and earth. Its hardness was almost comparable to a grade 1 spirit artifact. If he didn't use martial arts, it would be difficult for him to grab the tree so easily like Pan Jie. Of course, Yi Hao could do it easily if he used his martial arts. However, when Yi Hao carefully observed Pan Jie, he still couldn't detect any trace of martial power leaking out from his body. Get up. Pan Jie laughed foolishly, and the ground instantly cracked open, revealing the thick roots of the tree. Come out. The tree had been growing for hundreds of years, and its roots were numerous. It was almost impossible for Pan Jie to lift the tree while standing. Pan Jie forcefully raised the tree, and cracking sounds rang out. Thousands of thick roots were all broken, and the tree was thrown several meters into the air. Pan Jie caught the several meters thick and 1,000 meters tall tree with one hand, then smilingly looked at Yi Hao and said, Boss, look at my strength. Innate divine strength, Yi Hao exclaimed inwardly. He knew that he had picked up a treasure. This Pan Jie's strength was definitely not lower than his. One had to know that he was already a 9th level martial king. If he were to fight someone of a higher level, even a 5th level martial spirit might not be his match. All right, I'll accept you as my little brother, but you absolutely cannot go back on your word. If you go back on your word, Yi Hao looked at Pan Jie and said softly, Don't worry, boss. I definitely won't go back on my word. Pan Jie said solemnly to Yi Hao, his face incomparably serious. Hurry up and throw the tree away. I don't want to eat the barbecue. Yi Hao looked at Pan Jie, who was still holding the tree, and couldn't help but laugh. Eat Boss, I'll help you start the fire. Panji had the awareness of being a little brother. He helped Yi Hao start the fire and hurriedly ran out. Not long after, Panji walked back with a huge magical beast. Boss, is this magical beast okay? Panji laughed foolishly. At the same time, he was panting heavily. Beginner rank 5 magical beast. Looking at the magical beast, Yi Hao immediately made a judgment, and a glint flashed in his eyes. What's your name? Yi Hao asked Panji. Boss, my name is Panji. You can call me Little E. That's what my father calls me. Panji replied as he handed the cleaned magical beast to Yi Hao. Your father? Yi Hao was shocked. If this Panji was so powerful, then how powerful was his father? It wouldn't be worth it if he didn't come looking for trouble with him. My father disappeared a long time ago. Before he left, he told me that he would be back soon and told me not to contact outsiders. But he has been gone for more than a year. Panji said sadly. If you don't want to contact outsiders, then how did you see me and come out to talk to me? Yi Hao asked in confusion. His feeling told him that Panji's father definitely had a big secret. Otherwise, why would he bring his son to hide in the depths of the forest and tell his son not to contact outsiders? Hearing Yi Hao's question, Panji was a little embarrassed. Ever since my father left, I haven't talked to anyone for more than a year. Moreover, you are not a disciple of the Thousand Beasts sect. My father probably doesn't know. Your father didn't let you contact the people of the Thousand Beasts sect. Yi Hao asked as he roasted the meat. Yes. In the past, I teased the people of the Thousand Beasts sect a few times. When my father found out, I was beaten up by him. Panji said as he touched his butt. Looks like there's a chance. I'll ask Sun Ba and see if he knows anything. Panji's background immediately piqued Yi Hao's curiosity. Yi Hao and Panji chatted late into the night, but what he could learn from Panji was almost negligible. Panji was like a child isolated from the world. He didn't know anything. Yi Hao helped Panji roast the last piece of magical beast meat. Yi Hao rode the Thunderbird and left. Little E, I hope you can find your father smoothly. If you can't find him, remember to wait for me here in half a year. When the time comes, follow me. I'll help you find him. Yi Hao originally wanted to kidnap Panji. After all, this young man was born with divine strength. If he could help him participate in the competition in half a year, it would be a good choice. Moreover, he had a good impression of Panji. After all, he also wanted to make 2 friends. Otherwise, he would have just tricked Panji into eating the mind control pill. Panji also wanted to leave with Yi Hao. However, he still wanted to wait here for his father to return. Therefore, he could only reluctantly bid farewell to Yi Hao. Panji quietly looked at Yi Hao's back. His eyes glistened with tears. I'm sorry, boss. I really can't tell you my background. Otherwise, we won't be able to get along so well. Don't worry, boss. I'll wait for another half a year. If I can't find my father, I'll definitely go with you and see the scenery of the Myriad Kingdom continent. Panji looked at the fire. There was still a piece of braised meat on it. He smiled and muttered, and I can always eat boss's roasted meat. Chapter 234. Xiahao, where did you go? Do you know? I was so worried. Emalian was either dealing with things or standing at the door. Hearing the wind Thunderbird's cry, she immediately greeted him with a worried and reproachful tone. Okay, I'm back now. Yi Hao lovingly patted Emalian's head and looked at her with bloodshot eyes. He could imagine that Emalian had been worried about him ever since he left. How's the Beast Monster Lodge? Did anything happen after I left? Yi Hao asked with concern. Emalian took the opportunity to lie in Yi Hao's arms and shook her head. With Master Li Kuei there, some hoodlums who wanted to cause trouble were all killed. No one dared to cause trouble anymore. Right, where did you go? Why were you gone for so long? I thought you didn't want me anymore. Emalian pretended to be angry. Let's go upstairs. I'll tell you. Yi Hao directly carried Emalian by the waist and walked toward her room. Although it was late at night, there were still many people refining pills. Seeing Yi Hao carrying Emalian upstairs, everyone lowered their heads and pretended not to see. What are you doing? There are so many people here. Emalian said shyly and buried her head in Yi Hao's chest. They didn't see it, did they? Yi Hao laughed loudly. He was a loser in his previous life and had always maintained his virginity. Yi Hao swore today that he must taste the forbidden fruit. Wait, I want to take a shower. Emalian was lying on the bed and said nervously. This was her first time. Although she had already given herself to Yi Hao in her heart, she didn't expect it to be so sudden. But no matter what, she had to prepare. No need. You're fine now. Yi Hao was on the verge of exploding. How could he agree? Emalian heard Yi Hao's words and thought about it. She also closed her eyes and didn't dare to look at Yi Hao. Yi Hao smiled with relief and was about to remove the veil on Emalian's face. Looking at Emalian's trembling eyelashes, Yi Hao gently kissed Emalian's forehead. Who's there? Just as Yi Hao was about to take the next step, he suddenly felt something strange outside the window. Originally, the entire Beast King Pavilion was covered by Li Kuei's spirit sense. But Kuei saw Yi Hao carry Emalian upstairs and immediately withdrew his spirit sense and went to the Beast Monster Lodge drinking alone. Yi Hao immediately summoned Wu Song. Go after them. Wu Song left behind a black shadow and instantly chased after him. What's wrong? Emalian was shocked. She hurriedly put the veil back on her face, then nervously pulled Yi Hao's shoulder. Why do I feel dizzy? Suddenly, Yi Hao felt his vision blur. Yi Hao hurriedly shook his head, but his head was still dizzy. Not good. Yi Hao forced himself to remain calm and bit the tip of his tongue, trying to wake himself up. Why am I so hot? Yi Hao felt restless. Looking at Emalian, Yi Hao had the urge to pounce on Emalian. Emalian, do you have a bad reaction? Yi Hao asked worriedly. Emalian shook her head. Seeing Yi Hao's red face, she quickly reached out and touched Yi Hao's head. Why are you so hot? I can't care so much. Yi Hao felt like there was a devil in his heart that was driving him. No, what if there are enemies in the dark? Ha. Xia Hao, let's see how long you can last. Suddenly, a woman's cold and seductive voice came from outside the window. Who are you? Yi Hao asked with difficulty. Ha! Suddenly, the window was closed. A woman in black stood in front of the window. The woman in black turned around and looked at Yi Hao. What? You don't know me? Yi Hao looked at the unfamiliar woman in front of him. He felt like he had seen her somewhere before. But when he thought about it carefully, he realized he had never seen her before. You killed my father, and you still say you haven't seen me before. The woman's voice was both charming and filled with killing intent. You are the daughter of the Beast Demon House Master? Yi Hao couldn't connect the sexy and charming woman Yi Hao with that ugly and fat middle-aged woman. Since you know, then I will watch your performance. The woman in black sat on the table and looked at Yi Hao. What drug did you give me? Yi Hao suppressed the restlessness in his heart and asked with difficulty. This is an aphrodisiac. It only works on men. It is colorless and tasteless. Men who smell it will die of exhaustion. The woman in black picked up the inconspicuous incense burner on the table. I can't take it anymore. Yi Hao roared loudly and tore off his coat. Xia Hao, what's wrong? Don't scare me. Emalian saw Yi Hao's appearance and asked worriedly with tears in her eyes. Suddenly, Emalian was taken into the space of the dragon prison lake. Seeing Emalian's dazed face, the spirit of the dragon prison lake quickly explained, Missy, don't worry. This is the space of the master's treasure. Uncle, is Xia Hao all right? Emalian looked at the space in front of her in shock and quickly asked. The master is definitely fine. The giant dragon said with a lewd smile. Emalian looked at the source of the voice and covered her mouth in surprise. What did she see? She actually saw the top magical beast of the Myriad Kingdom continent, a giant dragon. Big bug, you scared Missy. The spirit of the dragon prison lake quickly smiled at Emalian and said, Missy, don't be afraid. The big bug is the master's magical beast. He won't hurt you. Emalian nodded. She was even more curious about Yi Hao's identity. And where is he? Seeing Emalian suddenly disappear, the black-clothed woman instantly stood up and looked at the direction of the bed. Don't move. Suddenly, Yihao's voice came from behind her. Yihao's hot breath blew on her hair. You? What do you want? The black-clothed woman was held in the arms of Yihao. His hand kept moving around her hand. Her body couldn't help but stiffen in an instant. What do I want? You drug me. What do you think I want? Yihao licked his dry lips. Miaolian was his woman. He wanted to love Miaolian, but he didn't want to hurt Miaolian. So he immediately took Miaolian into the Dragon Prison Lake. He was afraid that he couldn't control himself. I'm warning you, don't. Mess around. The black-clothed woman was completely scared at this time. Her voice trembled as she said. Bang! At this moment, the black-clothed woman kept struggling, causing their bodies to rub against each other. The last trace of consciousness in Yihao's eyes completely disappeared at this moment. Yihao violently pushed the black-clothed woman on the table. Like a wild beast, he fiercely tore open the black-clothed woman's clothes. Chapter 235. At this time, Yihao was completely controlled by the aphrodisiac. He was like a wild beast, galloping on the black-clothed woman's body. I beg you, spare me. The black-clothed woman was pressed under Yihao's body. She hated Yihao so much that she wanted to kill Yihao instantly. However, the pain below made her unable to exert any strength. Forget it. Anyway, without the antidote, he will definitely die. Just treat it as a nightmare. Zhou Nanji thought bitterly in her heart. Zhou Nanji closed her eyes. Crystal clear tears fell from the corner of her eyes. She bit her lips tightly, not allowing herself to make a sound. She didn't expect that she would reap what she sowed. She regretted it now. If she didn't come out from the beginning, then the person under Yihao wouldn't be her. Now, she was being humiliated by the enemy who killed her father. What a powerful aphrodisiac. Master has lost consciousness. The weapon spirit didn't want to peek at Yihao, but the spiritual sense he left on Yihao told him that Yihao was out of control now. What should we do now? You must save Xiahao. Miaolian was still distressed at first. She didn't know Yihao at all. She didn't know whether it was right or wrong to want to be with Yihao. But when she heard the weapon spirit's words, she immediately pleaded with worry. Missy, we can't do anything about it. Master can only rely on himself. The weapon spirit said in distress. Why can't I control myself? If this continues, I will definitely die of exhaustion. In the next few hours, Yihao kept fighting with his own consciousness. But he found that he couldn't control himself at all. If this continued, he would definitely die. That's great. Master can be saved. Another 4 hours passed. The weapon spirit was still worried about Yihao. Wu Song had returned long ago, but he heard the movements in the room. He thought that Yihao was having sex with Miaolian, so he didn't come in. What he didn't know was that Yihao had already lost his mind and was controlled by the aphrodisiac. At this moment, Yihao was already sweating profusely. His movements had already begun to slow down. The martial strength in his body was constantly being depleted. If he had another 2 hours at most, Yihao would definitely die from exhaustion. Suddenly, 2 small arrays appeared in Yihao's eyes. It was the pattern of the array heart. However, there was a small black dot in the center of the golden array formation. That black dot was the heavenly Yin spirit. At this moment, the heavenly Yin spirit quickly released 2 rays of light. One was protecting Yihao's consciousness, while the other was absorbing the power of the aphrodisiac. The heavenly Yin spirit was the ancestor of the dark demonic charm. No matter how powerful the aphrodisiac was, it had to obediently submit to the heavenly Yin spirit and be absorbed by it. No, I can't accept this. A soundless cry sounded in Yihao's mind. Phew, it's too scary. Only when the heavenly Yin spirit had absorbed all the power of the aphrodisiac did Yihao's consciousness gradually recover. If the heavenly Yin spirit had taken action a little later, even if he didn't die from exhaustion, he would have been controlled by the aphrodisiac and become a huge demon. That cry in his mind, just now, was a trace of consciousness produced by the aphrodisiac. Fortunately, it had been completely absorbed by the heavenly Ean's spirit. Thank you, little guy, Yi Hao said in his mind. However, the heavenly Ean's spirit hadn't developed consciousness yet. Therefore, in Yi Hao's eyes, the heavenly Ean's spirit couldn't hear him at all. However, Yi Hao didn't see that the small black dot in the array heart had become a little bigger. When it heard Yi Hao's words, it actually jumped a few times, wanting to express the joy in its heart. Gulp! Yi Hao's consciousness had already recovered. He was about to get up. However, when he saw that the woman beneath him was already covered in tears and had some scratches on her body, Yi Hao was slightly stunned. However, he immediately recalled what had happened. You're the one who sent this to me. Don't blame me. Yi Hao instantly felt a reaction. He immediately lifted his spear and got on top of her, starting to enjoy himself to his heart's content. Why is it taking so long? Why isn't he dead yet? Zhou Nanji didn't dare to open her eyes. She had already been lying on the table for 8 to 10 hours. According to the effects of the aphrodisiac, Yi Hao would have already died from exhaustion. Just now, Yi Hao clearly felt that Yi Hao had stopped. Who knew that just when she was about to open her eyes, Yi Hao actually started again. Master is really valiant. You're indeed young and much stronger than the old master. Seeing that Yi Hao was no longer in danger, the weapon spirit also retracted its consciousness from Yi Hao's body and shook its head with a smile. Scram! After an hour, Yi Hao left Zhou Nanji's body. He put on a white coat and sat beside the bed. Zhou Nanji suddenly opened her eyes. How was this possible? How are you still alive? Why? Are you disappointed that I didn't die? Yi Hao said with a smile. His eyes were still on Zhou Nanji. If not for the fact that he was really exhausted, Yi Hao would definitely have another 300 rounds of battle. Zhou Nanji felt Yi Hao's fiery gaze and quickly grabbed her clothes. However, her clothes and eyes were torn into pieces by Yi Hao. Yi Hao took out a set of spare clothes from his space and threw it on Zhou Nanji. Quickly put it on and scram. Don't make me regret it. I don't show mercy to women. No matter what, he had killed Zhou Nanji's father. Now, he had done that to her. Although Zhou Nanji deserved it, Yi Hao still let Zhou Nanji live. No matter what, this Zhou Nanji was his first woman in both lifetimes. Of course, Yi Hao did not like her. However, he still had some special feelings for her and was not willing to kill her. Aren't you afraid that I will kill you? Zhou Nanji put on her clothes and snorted. She wanted to get up, but the pain in her lower body made it difficult for her to do so. Do you think you can kill me? Yi Hao looked at Zhou Nanji with contempt as he lay on the bed. I will definitely kill you. Don't regret it. Zhou Nanji stood up angrily. Indeed, it was already difficult for her to stand up, let alone kill Yi Hao. I see that you can't even walk. Why don't you come over and take a rest? Yi Hao pointed to the spot beside him and said jokingly. To Yi Hao's surprise, Zhou Nanji actually walked over slowly and directly lay in Yi Hao's arms. Don't move. No matter what, you are my first man. Let me hug you for a while. Just a while, Zhou Nanji said softly. Hug me all you want. I don't mind. Although Yi Hao looked relaxed on the surface, he was very careful in his heart. He had killed her father and her father's brother. Then, he had done that to her. It would be strange if she did not hate him to death. Why did she suddenly become a weak woman and even take the initiative to hug her enemy? Suddenly, Yi Hao felt a pain in his shoulder. He took a deep breath. You're tuning in to the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.